The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Sound series, we are talking about digital misinformation, fake news to fake elections. What do you need to know to protect yourself? It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend. Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Friday, July 11th, 2025. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Farrell Goff will be joining us. Also this morning, we'll get a preview of Basketball Classic, all the details for that. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, more than have been awarded national honors. The Office of the Prime Minister announcing this on Independence Day yesterday. The Distinguished Award of Order of National Hero was bestowed to historic Bahamian slave Pompey Roll, a legendary part of Bahamian history. Pompey led the 1830 rebellion of a group of slaves in Exuma after the slaves received a transfer order to Cat Island. Defying the order, Pompey fled the plantation, dodging capture efforts and rallying up slaves to sail to Nassau in hopes of getting the governor to overturn the decision to send the slaves to Cat Island. Though caught before entering Nassau, Pompey governor ordered the slaves to stay on their Exuma plantation, and Pompey was regarded as a hero among slaves, igniting hope and courage within them. Pompey continues to be widely recognized as a key instrument in the freedom of Bahamian slaves. Other awardees included Bahamian professional athletes, police commissioner, the Defense Force Commodore, religious figures, and former politicians. The Grand Bahama Power Company issued a statement Wednesday explaining that it experienced a complete loss of generation as a result of a lightning strike. It's assuring residents of Grand Bahama that the company is prepared for the island's summer low. The company explained that while it typically has protective systems to guard against critical failures as a result of lightning strikes, Wednesday's early morning outage was an anomaly. Outages again yesterday. A statement from GBPC saying that unlike the weather-related event on May 23rd, where protective systems successfully prevented widespread outages, the configuration of the power grid by Wednesday led to the loss of a major generating unit at the Peel's cascading impact, ultimately causing a temporary system-wide outage. Restoration efforts began immediately, and the first group of customers was restored by 9:47 a.m., with full island-wide restoration completed by 12:09. However, again, some were out yesterday as well. The government is set to sign an agreement today with the People's Republic of China for the construction of a new hospital in Western New Providence. We've been talking about this for a bit. In a statement and an invitation to the signing ceremony, the government said the landmark event signifies a major step forward in enhancing the nation's healthcare infrastructure through international collaboration. The hospital, a nearly $300 million project, will be a women's and children's hospital, but it will provide other services as well. The facility will have a neonatal intensive care unit, will offer same-day surgeries, minor procedures, diagnostic and interventional imaging, support of molecular medicine services, headquarters for new technologies research and medicine oversight, teaching hospital services, a blood bank and laboratory services, and a national reference morgue and pathology services. It's being funded through a concessional 20-year bank, and the government previously noted that construction is expected to take place between 30 and 36 months. In two letters to Prime Minister Philip Davis, F&M leader Michael Pintard is questioning hundreds of millions of dollars of government spending, pointing to $10 million earmarked for an entity named Carmichael Village Project Development Company Limited. Pintard said there's been no information on what the company is or what the funds are being used for. He noted that the company is listed as a government business enterprise in the most recently published quarterly public debt statistical bulletin. Questioned the minister's report, saying the government loaned a sum of $10 million to this GBE for purposes not stated. He said the report also indicates that the sum has remained unchanged over 3 quarterly reporting periods. And a 39-year-old Mexican man has been charged with killing his co-worker aboard a luxury super yacht. That yacht called Far From It. Prosecutors say Brigido Munoz, an engineer, slit Paige Bell's throat on July 3rd while the yacht was docked in Harbor Island. The 20-year-old stewardess was found murdered in the yacht's engine room by another member of the crew. Munoz had injuries to his wrists that police believe were self-inflicted. Munoz had bandages on both wrists when he appeared before Chief Magistrate Roberto Reckley, charged with Bell's murder on Wednesday. He was not required to enter a plea to the charges, and bail was denied. Munoz returns to court on November 20th for the presentation of a voluntary bill of indictment that will fast-track the case to the Supreme Court. Overseas, European officials reaching a new deal with Israel to allow desperately needed food and fuel into Gaza. The European Union says that, this announcement coming hours after an Israeli airstrike killed 15 people, including 10 children, waiting for help outside a medical clinic. The children's deaths drew outrage from humanitarian groups, even as Israel allowed the first delivery of fuel to Gaza in more than 4 months, though still less than a day's supply, according to the United Nations. So UNICEF's chief says the killing of families trying to access life-saving aid is unconscionable. And, quote, there were mothers seeking a lifeline for their children after months of hunger and desperation. The Israeli military says that it was targeting a militant when it struck near the clinic. Security camera footage outside the clinic in the central Gaza city of Deir al-Balah showed about a dozen people squatting in front of the clinic while a projectile explodes a few yards away, leaving bodies scattered. Meanwhile, Benjamin Netanyahu prepares to leave Washington after meetings with U.S. President Donald Trump, apparently without finalizing a temporary ceasefire advocated by the White House. The deal announced by the European Union and European officials could result in more crossings open, aid and food trucks entering Gaza, the repair of vital infrastructure and protection of aid workers. Aid groups say Israel military restrictions and recurring violence have made it difficult to deliver assistance in Gaza even after Israel eased its 2.5-month total blockade in May. Experts have warned the Strip is at risk of famine 21 months into the Israel-Hamas war. And Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva says that he will impose retaliatory on the United States if U.S. President Donald Trump follows through on a pledge to boost import taxes by 50% over the South American country's criminal trial against his predecessor, Jair Bolsonaro. Lula says he will trigger Brazil's reciprocatory law approved by Congress earlier this year if negotiations with the U.S. fail. Lula telling a TV interview that, quote, if there's no negotiation, the reciprocatory law will be put to work. If he charges 50% tariffs for us, we will charge 50% from them. Respect is good. I like to offer mine, and I like to receive it. Lula's comments raising the risk of a tariffs war erupting between the two countries, similar to what has happened between the U.S. and China. Trump has vowed to respond forcefully if countries seek to punish the U.S. by adding. And lawyers for victims of human rights abuses during Peru's armed conflict vowed to appeal to international bodies Thursday to knock down an amnesty law passed by the country's Congress the previous night. Congress passed legislation late Wednesday to provide amnesty for military members and civilians prosecuted for serious human rights abuses during the country's armed conflict between 1980 and 2000. A coalition of human rights organizations said the new law could wipe out 156 convictions and another 600 cases that are being protected or prosecuted. Supporters of the law came from right-wing political parties that have historically defended the military, including the Popular Force Party led by Keiko Fujimori, daughter of former President Alberto Fujimori. The law now from President Dina Boluarte, who can sign it, return it to Congress with their comments, or let it become law in 2 weeks without touching it, but the amnesty even before its passage. It's time for sports, brought to you by Kulik. Bahamian professional baseball player Jazz Chisholm Jr. is back to second base and back to having arguably the best season of his MLB career. Chisholm had a pair of home runs in the New York Yankees' 9-6 win over the Seattle Mariners at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx on Wednesday, and came back on Bob's Independence Day on Thursday and broke up a no-hitter by Mariners pitcher Brian Wu and later scored in the top of the 8th inning. The Yankees came from 6-5 in 10 innings and pushed their winning streak to 4 games. For the season, the 27-year-old baseball star is having a fantastic time. You can read all about it in today's Guardian Sports section. And from the NBA, Bahamian professional basketball player DeAndre Ayton is looking forward to shifting narratives during the upcoming 2025-26 season with the LA Lakers. Ayton was recently bought out by the Portland Trail Blazers and subsequently picked up by the Lakers on a 2-year deal via free agency. Despite averaging a double-double for his 7th consecutive season, the 26-year-old faced criticism about his motor as a player following his departure from Portland. Addressed those concerns during his Lakers introductory press conference on Tuesday, saying, quote, it fuels me up completely. It's a different type of drive that I've had for a long time. It's the perfect timing here in the purple and gold, and it's a platform that I cannot run from. I can show what I really am and just be around some greats to really emphasize that for me as well. It's a lot of fuel with me to prove to the whole world. Well, the former number 1 overall pick of the 2018 NBA draft is set to join a Lakers organization that has championship aspirations as its top priority going into the next season. And the Bahamas Dragon Boat Federation announcing its historic participation of the nation's first ever club crew team at the 2025 Pan American Cup Crew Championships in Montreal, Canada. This marks a big milestone for the Bahamas as the team makes its international club crew debut, competing among other top paddlers from across. Read about that in today's Guardian Sports section. And from tennis, Carlos Alcaraz takes on Taylor Fritz, and Jannik Sinner faces Novak Djokovic in the men's semifinals at Wimbledon. Both matchups are scheduled to be played today at center court, with number 2 seed Alcaraz versus number 5 Fritz leading things off at about 1:30 local time. That's in London. Followed by number 1 Sinner versus number 6 Djokovic. The two winners will meet Sunday to decide the champion. Alcaraz has won the last 2 trophies at the All-England Club, beating Djokovic in the final each time. Alcaraz is on a career-best 23-match winning streak that includes a championship at the French Open a month ago, defeating Sinner in an epic 5-set final after saving 3 match points. At sports, brought to you by Kulik. Pop the Top is back and it's bigger than ever. Kulik Pop the Top and is giving away up to $200,000 in cash and prizes. Purchase your favorite Kulik beer and look under the cap and you could be a winner. Free Kulik beer, free merch, or cost for drinking Kulik, the beer of the Bahamas. Kulik reminds you to drink responsibly, buddy. Time for your first look at weather, brought to you by Star General. High pressure centered in the Atlantic will expand across the Bahamas, supporting moderate to fresh east to southeasterly breezes around the islands. A layer of Saharan dust draped over the area helps to limit shower and thunderstorm chances today and into the weekend. Meanwhile, the northern extent of a tropical wave will pass near the southern Bahamas, helping to trigger a few showers across the southeastern islands. So for today, a typical summertime weather pattern will continue across the country into the weekend as high pressure becomes the dominant weather feature. Another mid to upper level low or disturbance is expected to move into the islands by early next week, and that's going to help to elevate shower chances and thunderstorms once again, beginning next week. For today, though, the public's advised to remain hydrated, wear loose-fitting clothing, sunscreen, take frequent breaks during peak sunshine hours, as UV indices are expected to be in the high to very high range, and heat indices will reach the mid to upper 90s to the lower triple digits. There's also a high risk of rip currents along eastern and southern shorelines of the northwest and central and southeast Bahamas, so that's everywhere. And beachgoers are urged to remain onshore in the southeast Bahamas and exercise caution in the northwest and central islands. So your forecast for today, this Friday after Independence Day, we're looking at partly sunny conditions becoming fair tonight across the country. Got about a 20% chance of a few scattered showers, isolated thunderstorms. Winds southeasterly at 15 knots today, falling to 10 to 15 knots by tonight for the northern and northwest islands. East to southeast at 15 to 20 knots for the central Bahamas, and east to southeast at 15 to 20 knots with higher gusts mainly near and south of Inagua and the Turks and Caicos Islands for the southeastern Bahamas. Temperatures today, we're looking at highs around 91 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius, but that heat index will be a factor in the 2 Fahrenheit, 39 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 80, 81 Fahrenheit, 27 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook for your weekend and the start of the work week coming up in just a bit. This weather check brought to you by Star General Insurance Made Simple. It's time for a break, but when we come back, we're discussing today's top stories right here on Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9, your home for fresh news and smart talk all day.
It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day.
You to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Abaco, get ready for the summer's official rum and beer Lincoln. Royalty Sounds present Found Fast. Found Fast. Saturday, July 5th, Morris Harbor, Abaco at the Royal Recreational Ground. Gates open 5 p.m., $20 entry. Ladies free before 8 p.m. with Nassau and Abaco's hottest DJ. Don't miss the beer drinkers versus rum drinkers competition.
Pulling for the best side,
Can rum for me. Found Fast, July 5th, Abaco. Sponsored by Collect, the Mayor of the Bahamas. Drink responsibly.
As a healthcare professional, you dedicate your life to caring for others. But even with the best care, legal challenges can arise. Protect your practice and your peace of mind with medical malpractice insurance from Star General. At Star General, we've partnered with Lloyd's of London to bring you comprehensive professional liability insurance designed specifically for those consulting or practicing privately. Visit our website today so you can focus on what you do best, caring for your patients, while we take care of the rest. Star General, insurance made simple.
Looking to elevate your gadget game, or are tech troubles simply slowing you down? Escape to a world of innovation at Custom Computers, your go-to store for the latest cutting-edge tech. Whether you need to upgrade your life with the best from Apple and Windows, or your device needs a little TLC, the Custom Computers Know-How Store is the destination for unbeatable expertise and quality repairs. With 2 convenient locations, there's a Custom Computers near you on Patton Street in Palmdale and Caves Village, or call 396-1100.
At Cleveland Clinic, care is everything. So when your primary purpose is to care for the world, you'd start with your community until you're accessible anywhere. You make complexities your specialties and put compassion before anything else, all to redefine what's possible for everyone, everywhere. For every care in the world. Cleveland Clinic.
Shell, you home? My gas just gone out. Let me know small barbecue tank you have. I tell you, long time, go get a barbecue tank from Caribbean Gas. They just got a new shipment of tanks of all sizes. Now you know they always just have the best prices. Tell them you heard it on 106.5 FM and they will give you $5 off. Caribbean Gas 7 or 552-9597. You want to use my phone? Here, call them now.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. The start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rates apply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Farrell Goff will be joining us. And we've got a lot to talk about this morning. We've got Peace on the Streets, the Basketball Classic, the annual Basketball Classic. It is returning next week. We're going to get all the details that you need to know about the event coming up, and some of the very exciting people are going to be taking part in that. We'll talk to some of them as well. And then later, it's our monthly Safe and Sound series. Today, with everybody talking about AI and AI videos, fake videos, wondering if it's true or whatever. We're going to be getting into that fake news impacting elections and how to combat digital misinformation. So that's going to be something to look forward to. That's coming up this morning. But right now, let's get into what else is in the news. In the National Guardian today about the national honors, over 500 to get national honors. Some very interesting names. We're going to get into that in just a second. Just want to talk about what's happening in Grand Bahama. And heard from Laverne, and she was telling me her power was out yesterday. And I'm hearing now, see Alan Johnson's telling me the same thing. Power outage last night. Came on for a few hours and been without power for the last hour this morning. So they're having a lot of issues. And sounds very summer, right? But what the company is saying, it's a little bit different from what people are experiencing. So they're saying lightning caused a system-wide outage. I guess this is what caused the issue on Wednesday. We haven't heard what happened yesterday or today, but according to GVPC, it experienced a complete loss of generation, and it was as a result of a lightning strike. And it says that the company is prepared for the island's summer load demands. Well, GVPC said that while it typically has protective systems to guard against critical failures as a result of lightning strikes, Wednesday's outage was an anomaly. And it said that They had a weather-related event on May 23rd. Unlike that one, where protective systems successfully prevented widespread outages, the issue that happened on Wednesday led to the loss of a major generating unit at the Peel Street plant. It said this triggered a cascading impact, ultimately causing a temporary system-wide outage. And the restoration efforts began to restore later, but so still having some issues. Don't know if it is related to the outage, residual, I don't know, but doesn't sound good. So we are praying for the people of Grand Bahama that gets sorted out. But hey, if you are in Grand Bahama and can tell us what you've been experiencing, why don't you give us a call? Let's talk about it. I don't think you get Nassau people complain, Lutheran people complain. Don't really hear too much from Grand Bahama. Or maybe I'm running the wrong circles. I don't know, but I think a lot of people think you don't have issues up there. But based on what our Laverne Garden is telling us, and you've heard it, she's been on the air at least twice in the last couple of months where the power went off while she was with us. So that is not good, to say the least, right? Give us a call if you are there and tell us what you are experiencing. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-2459. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. If you are in Grand Bahama, let's talk. Let's hear what's going on. Seattle, what do you think is happening? Remember they said they lost some major clients, so they should have excess supply or capacity for supply. So it's not quite the same issue as in Providence. But what is going on there? 323-6232, 325-4259. And 325-4316. You can text us as well, 422-4796. All right, so that's going on, and you can call in if you want to talk about it. But let's get to the big story of the day. The national honors. This is some interesting stuff here, folks. All right, so we're very, very heartened, pleased that there is this awareness now. The cynical people will say wokeness, but that government is recognizing some of the people that they're recognizing that in the past would not have been recognized. And that was the whole purpose of the national honors, right? Because when it's the king's or the queen's honors, well, it's limiting. But so here is the release. This part is very interesting from the Office of the Governor General. And so the Order of National Hero is for Pompey Roll. Do you know who that is? Pompey Roll was a slave who led Pompey's revolt. In 1830, 77 slaves on Lord Roll's plantation in Steventon, Exuma, were given only 1 week's notice that they were going to be relocated from Exuma to Cat Island. The response was a rebellion initiated by a 32-year-old slave named Pompey. The enslaved African men and women fled to the bush rather than be moved before they could harvest their crops. When provisions seized Lord Roll's salt boat, with Pompey at the helm, they headed for Nassau, hoping to appeal to the anti-slavery governor, Carmichael Smith. Apprehended en route, they were thrown into the Nassau workhouse, tried, and found guilty. Being appalled by the harsh treatment of the slaves were receiving, and learning that the move had been illegal in the first place, the governor had Pompey and his followers return to Exuma, where they were greeted with mass celebration. Further disruptions by the slaves led to the government making an example of Pompey and publicly giving him 39 lashes. Oh boy. Today, only a few walls of the jailhouse remain as a reminder of those dark days at Steventon, Exuma. So, some interesting stuff there. It wasn't only Haiti where this stuff was going on. We had that here. And quite something. Quite something indeed. What do you make of that? What do you think about Pompey? I think last year was Kate Moss, or Black Kate. And her incident of abuse played a critical role, as we've learned, in getting abolitionists ignited to help end slavery in the British colonies. So it's 2 years in a row, so that's pretty cool what's happening there. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. All right, so over 500 got national honors. Again, Pompey named a national hero. There are the police commissioner, the defense force commodore, religious figures, former politicians. Got some photos of some of the people. Delton Fernander, Bishop Delton Fernander, the Christian Council head. Got Commissioner of Police Shanton Knowles, Commodore Floyd Moxey, V.J. Edgecombe, who was just drafted to the NBA, Jonquel Jones, Giovanni Buddy Hield from the NBA, both of them, and Jonquel from the WNBA. Stan Burnside, artist Stan Burnside. I saw Jazz Chisholm's name there. Quincy Pratt, the boxer. Stephen Gardner, track star. Adrian Fox. Adrian Fox's name's there as well. There's a whole lot of, 500. Are you there? Are you shocked to see your name? Give us a call, 323-6232, 325-4259, 325-4316. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. You can text us 422-4796. Any name surprised you there? Any names shocked you there? What do you make of it? Listen, see if we see any more. Well, this is a lot. 500. You can't name all of these, of course. But former politicians like the late Teresa Boxey Ingram, Percy Francis, DeAndre Ayton is here. Claudette Cookie Allens, yeah. Tell you about Jonquel Jones already. And so many more. So many more. Let's talk about it. And how independence went for you. What did you think about the rain and how that forced the ecumenical service indoors? Pajunganu still happened after midnight. What do you make of that? Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're live on the air.
Morning, Dwight Strachan.
Good morning.
Your name, is your name there? I would be surprised if your name is not there.
I would be surprised. Oh, if it's not, I was going to say I'd be surprised
there.
if it is. Probably not going to be there for any time ever. So, but no, don't look for that. Dwight, what about yours? Is yours there? 500. There's a lot of people.
Yeah, no, I mean, the work that you do for the community, the radio station, how you formulate all of your programming, with your guests, and how you keep that in balance. That's not easy work to do, when you're dealing with personalities of varying source. But anyway, I just thought to say that you should have been there. But Dwight,
oh wow,
I would like to make a point about lightning. We have this spark that's being run between a heavy dark cloud and a light cloud, one positive, one negative charge. The fact is this: the cloud that's over say, Cable Beach, is not going to fire a lightning spark strong enough to hit you in Yamacraw. So common sense should tell you if the clouds are right over your head, open all the circuits in your house, which means turn everything off. Disconnect yourself from the main equipment for that brief moment that the lightning is over your head. That's where it's going to strike while it's over you. Now, why aren't BPL or whatever they want to call themselves now opening circuits in areas where the lightning is intense at a certain area? Because I've seen lightning move, and it moves real fast, and it carries a lot of heat. You don't want to be in the path. So open the circuits. What's wrong with that? Current can't flow when circuits are open. The lightning would jump, but it doesn't like to go through loops. You know, a former Harmer radio operator, I had a lot of lightning strikes with my towers. I know lightning. Keep the circuits open. When the thunderstorms are right over you, disconnect from the power source and open all your circuits. Save your equipment. I have friends down the road from me right now, computer gone. They have to replace the modem. Come on, man. Anyway, that's my thought on lightning.
Okay. All right. Any thoughts on some of the people who were named? No, not there. Okay. Call us, folks, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Interesting names. Again, I think people said this last year, right? Why so many? 500, over 500. That's a lot. That's a lot of people. What are we doing? I mean, you do want to give people their flowers before they're gone, right? So perhaps that's what it is. But interesting how this goes. Got another call there? Not yet. Okay. 323-6232, 325-4316. Hi, are you there? No. Okay. Yeah. So we can continue to talk about that, and we'll get your reaction to it. So there is also the government to sign that agreement finally with China for the new hospital. Much talked about hospital. Rachel Scott writing about this today. The government set to sign an agreement today with the People's Republic of China for the construction of a new specialty hospital in Western New Providence. So the invitations went out to the media, and for the signing ceremony, it says, quote, "This landmark event signifies a major step forward in enhancing the nation's healthcare infrastructure through international collaboration." It says the hospital, a nearly $300 million project, will be a women's and children's hospital, but it'll provide other services as well. It'll have a neonatal intensive care unit. It will offer same-day surgeries and minor procedures, diagnostic and interventional imaging services, support of molecular medicine services, headquarters for new technologies, research and medicine oversight, teaching hospital services, a blood bank and laboratory services, and a national reference morgue, and pathology services. As you may recall, it's being funded through a concessional 20-year loan from China Export-Import Bank, and the government previously noted that the construction is expected to take between 30 and 36 months. So the Davis administration has hailed the project as a key initiative for improving health care on New Providence. Has been delayed. Last year, Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Michael Darville, said he expected the groundbreaking to take place in the first quarter of 2024-2025, that budget cycle. So, yeah, a little bit delayed there, but we will get there, I guess. But that's an interesting part. I think the last time we heard from the Chinese ambassador, I think she was saying that it was the ball's in their court now to move this forward, and the Bahamas had done everything that was required. And so here we go. This is the next step, and it might be getting ready to get rolling now. Let's hear from you. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Morning, Dwight. Morning, happy post-independence.
Same to you. Same to you.
Great. Dwight, it's very exhaustive just sitting there and waiting for all those 500 names. Okay? If you just got appointed that an athlete, a policeman or something, in fact, you'll find that almost half of them between policemen, defense force, this one, that one. But you've had many persons who've been teaching for many years, who've actually taught all of those ministers and whoever is on those committees. And you have many teachers, none of the names ever called, and 500 is too much. Just sitting there waiting for to hear either your family or friend call, it takes about 3-4 hours, And I mean, that they're trying to wake the Governor General had. But Dwight, that takes away the flavor from it. Beyond that, that's too many.
It is a lot. It is a lot. I'm not sure what the rationale is. I'd like to know, but
that's right.
Yeah.
By the time they get to the bottom, you have already forgot who've been on it to the top there.
So you were actually listening.
You defense for this. I mean, it's crazy.
You were actually listening, or you had it? That's what you're saying.
Sorry.
You were actually listening. You were, or what do you?
Yes, I watched it. I think last year because of course, one of my colleagues and then one of my uncles, they got on it. But listen, it was about 3-4 hours, man, sitting there waiting for them to be called. That's crazy.
Yikes! Wow, that is crazy.
It's awesome. That's too many.
That is a lot.
Yeah, well,
thank you very much. Farrell Goff joining us now. Good morning, Farrell. Happy Independence. Happy Post-Independence Day.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Bahamas. Always a pleasure to be here, Dwight. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So we're talking about a couple things. We've been talking about the 500 people honored, including Pompeii. And that's pretty cool. And Grand Bahama having power issues.
That doesn't happen often.
More often than it used to. Definitely based on what. Yeah. Laverne was telling us yesterday that hers was off. C. Allen saying his is off right now. It was off last night into the morning, and so they're having some issues. Laverne's been with us twice now in the past 2 months or so when the power's gone off while she's been on the air. So it is definitely happening more often than it used to.
Yeah, that is unusual for Grand Bahama, though.
Yeah. So things are changing.
Welcome to Nassau life.
Right. Oh God. Oh my gosh.
Although relatively speaking, ours isn't as bad as it used to be some time ago. Honest.
Yeah, I mean, definitely in places like in Eastern New Province, used to be off at least once or twice a week. We're not seeing that anymore. Again, I need to knock on wood every time I talk about it, but anyway. And it might have only been twice for the year so far, which is a record.
I'm telling you, consider it being once, twice, 3 times a day, but a few years ago, right?
Yeah.
That has progressively gotten better.
So indeed, that has improved. Who do we thank for that? Is it Pike?
No, there's the debate. No, I think it was way before those guys showed up. But I'm
sure.
I don't know
about that.
I don't know the work that they're doing, but yeah, no, it stabilized a few years ago, Dwight. When it improved and it's progressively gotten better, right? But I don't know if you remember, it was like 3-4 years ago, and it was like a summer that was horrible. Like it was load shedding, it was intermittent, it was horrible, man. I'm not sure who was in power and exactly what was done, but something was done.
Yep, the load shedding we definitely remember. I do think since Pike's been in the picture, it's played a role.
And as it should, right?
As it should.
That's what they're there for, right? I mean, that's the purpose of them joining forces with BPL and to improve transmission, I believe, right? Opposed to generation.
Yeah. Yeah, indeed. All right. So again, we're talking about the honors. We mentioned some of the names. A lot of athletes. The college is now saying that there are a lot of educators who have not been named. I mean, the list I don't know. And we talked about this last year, and here it's happened again. If there could be a little something about each person, so you know, like what did they do? Um, like that one. And there's so many people with the same name. You're like wondering, well, which one is this?
So it's
And
just
so,
it's just a list of names.
yeah.
There must be some place you can go, I imagine, right? To get, like you said, just a little intro on each person and why they're being honored. Some could be very obvious. I think some you probably want to understand a bit more.
Absolutely. Um, hmm, I don't know. As he said, he was listening and it took hours for all the names to be named. And 500 names with a little write up, that might be a whole book, but maybe they deserve it.
That is a whole lot of people, though. I mean, I'm happy for them, right? But I'm just saying that's a whole lot of people.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Does it take away from the honor itself? Just playing devil's advocate?
That it's so many?
Yes.
That's a good question. It really does seem like a lot. But congratulations to everybody.
Absolutely. Not raining on anyone's parade.
Mm-hmm. Again, some of the athletes: Stephen Gardner, Jonquel Jones, Jazz Chisholm, Quincy Pratt, VJ Edgecombe.
Already?
Already, I was gonna say just reach, and
I'm happy for the young man. He's a phenom. I'm happy for him. I'm right behind him. I'm gonna try to watch every game and support him as much as I can. But man, that was quick.
There you go. I mean, I guess number 3 draft pick in the NBA. That's a big deal. So sure. Buddy Hield's there. Adrian Fox. Mm-hmm.
No, I mean, I'd like to know, like, what is the reason? There's obviously he's a colorful character, with a wide portfolio, but I'd be curious to know what was the specific reason for that honor.
So, I like your language. Very interesting language there, sir.
Very choice words there, Dwight.
You did want to be a politician. You would have been a good one. You would have been. Oh boy, give us a call, folks. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5 says that since the 2019 F&M administration, what happened since then? That's when things got better with BPL. I think you're forgetting a lot of things.
Yeah, I think that's probably what he's pointing to.
So you see, we things were good during the pandemic because shockingly, while we were all locked in our homes, the power didn't go off much. But people point to the fact that the big hotels didn't have guests and they weren't drawing power. But as soon as we opened up the economy again, that changed. Don't you remember?
Wasn't there something done under the Menace administration with BPL though? Like there was generation was improved, I believe. There was some deliberate move. Was that correct during that term? That
like I said,
less blackouts in the subsequent summer, I believe.
Okay. 2020, we didn't have much to talk about. Again, we're pandemic, people locked down. But by 21, 22, we were back to issues. But in the last year or so, things have definitely improved. So I think it's something like I said, last 2 years, some areas, not all, but I'm sure there are going to be people who are saying, what about us? What about us?
Yeah, I hear you, Dwight, but I do believe there was something done that it was not, it never was as bad as it was back then. It did stabilize. It wasn't perfect. I think a lot of it was around transmission, though, right? Was the issue more so than the generation shortfall. Generation shortfall is what plagued us for so long. So long, right? That was the summer load shedding. It was because of the I don't know when last we had load shedding, We've
very
always had
recently,
the
Farrell.
blackouts.
Very recently. I'm telling you.
No, I see they had some planned outages for maintenance. Now,
Don't fall for that.
if that I just saying I know they're doing a lot. They're doing a lot of work out there. So I guess I did fall for it. I trust in the system a bit.
I'm telling you, after the pandemic, we were back to having issues. And just till about 2 years ago. Maybe this caller has a different memory. What say you on this? Caller, are you there?
Good morning, hello.
Hi, good morning.
How are you guys this morning?
Doing well.
Well, I heard that one of the callers said earlier that he haven't heard no teachers' names called. Okay, let me
saying
give
there should be more. There should be more, he's saying.
Grand Bahama, Miss Victoria Wright. She was the principal of Martin Time Primary, and she is now being honored because she still has a preschool in the church on Columbus Drive. Okay? She was an educator for many, many, many years. And if you could recall, for the last several years, we've been talking about the traffic around the sports center at a certain time of the year with the give back. That's Adrian Fox. Also in Camp Road, with the give back during the Christmas period, that's Adrian Fox. So, the NGOs are doing a lot. And also with the young athlete, the one from Bimini, Mr. Edgecombe. If you heard a story on the newscast in America with the basketball thing, it's a real interesting story. What he spoke about his mom using a generator and had to find food for them to eat. So I think the encouragement is great. And you got to remember now, these honorees awards, they were recommended by the citizens of those different communities, not the government. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. All right. Thanks. So I think, again, the caller was saying that there weren't enough, not that there weren't any, but just there should be so many more who should be recognized. And maybe, again, like you say, it's up to the public to do it, and maybe some didn't take advantage of that. So we'll see.
What is the process, Dwight? Do we know the process?
Yeah. This is more community driven. So you are to recommend or nominate somebody. For the national honors, yeah. So
they put out a poll someplace, or there's like constituency offices, or is there a survey done? I'm just kind of curious. Like, what I didn't get to vote. I don't know. I mean, it's not happening in my constituency, Dwight. I
don't know if it works like that. Maybe through the governor general's office, but we can get the information for you for next year. For next year,
obviously, right? Missed the boat.
Are you gonna nominate Farrell Goff, or how are you gonna do it?
I mean, there's some solid people. I have some neighbors that are pretty helpful and always looking out for the kids.
Wow, what? All right, we got some text messages here. So this person says here, congratulations to the honorees. Seriously, it's like they're watering down the honorees list. Oh yeah. It really doesn't. It really doesn't and isn't making much sense anymore. I don't take this honorees list as important or serious anymore. Well, remember now, Texter, the national honors is not that old. So, but I hear you with the numbers. The number is large. But they go on to say they're honoring everyone. The cat, the dog, etc. Wow. And yet, so many others have not been.
I would say this, Dwight. I think in these type of processes, there's always going to be folks that felt like they should have, or someone else they know should have been on the list, right? So it's hard to avoid that. It's kind of, I think every year you'll have those type of commentary, right?
Yeah. This person says here, what is this about? What do we make of rain in the rainy season? Huh? What now?
One of those riddles, Dwight. It's philosophical riddles. Got to figure it out.
I don't know if this is about
the weather. Put it in ChatGPT. I don't get it.
Maybe it's about the weather report. And I mean, some people just want to know whether it's going to be a very rainy day. Yeah, is the rainy season, so expect rain, but it might be more than you thought.
If you have something planned, we planned a lot of things outdoors. It's summer, so you just want to know what the forecast is looking like on that particular day.
So we shouldn't tell you the temperature because it's the summer and it's hot in the Bahamas. So don't even tell you what. Yeah,
that's all you need to know. Forecast HOT.
Hey, it's July, Bahamas. Go figure. That's all you need. That's your.
Answer those silly questions.
Oh boy, I hear you. I hear you. This person says here the rationale. This is this is about the honorees. Simple. Election is coming. Oh man, that's cynical. 500 people has an exponential electoral voting goodwill factor. This is the first government who ever did anything for my great uncle. Oh, that's an
that's what he's saying.
example.
That's what
Right, that's what people are going to
saying.
think. I hear you. I hear you. This one says here, it's
I'm
definitely
sure, but I'm sure the list is filled with it's bipartisan. I'm sure it's many different backgrounds on that list.
And I'm sure most of these people are extremely worthy of being honored.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't question. I just would like to know why and how, for what reason. For some of them, just for my own edification more than anything else, not to challenge it.
Yeah. Yeah. This texter says, I agree with you guys that they were quick to honor VJ Edgecombe. I guess they're trying to catch up and make up for what he said to the international media that he had been using a generator for all those years in Bimini. That's a dark way to look at it. But again, he's in the NBA. He's made history. So
and he did it in grand fashion. He earned it. He worked for it. He's been on the watch list for a long time now because of the level of play and his
absolutely.
So it's not, again, I'm not taking anything away from it, right?
The NBA players who were with him on the Bahamas national team can tell you how much of a pivotal role he played in almost getting them into the Olympics, right? He was a standout amongst NBA players for Team Bahamas. And we are definitely looking a whole lot better now for next Olympics, right? So, I mean, he's been stellar for a long time, even though he's so young.
So, Dwight, I think you said it earlier. This is the national honors is different from the national heroes list, right? It's two different things, right? Two different.
No, because on this one, Pompey has been named a national hero. So there are different levels, tiers within the honors. So at the top, there's a national hero, and then you've got Order of Excellence, Order of Distinction, Companion, Order of the Bahamas Companion. See, this stuff you need your dictionary to help explain what all this means, right? And Order of Distinction Officer, Order of Distinction Member, Order of Merit Companion.
So there's different tiers to it.
Yeah.
You make up the 500.
Order of Merit Officer, and it just so many things. Order of Lignum Vitae and Distinguished Service Medal. So there's a whole lot.
Oh, okay.
And each one means something. Each one means, I think police officers and uniform branches can get something versus some other stuff. There was bravery in there as well. I saw a list for people who were, This is a whole lot of different stuff. I guess we should do a segment on breaking it down for everyone to understand how this works.
I think so. I think that would be really helpful. And I still believe that there's some place you can go and get a little excerpt on each one, a little bio and reason for all the 500. I mean, it would be a long write-up, very long.
Is a caller still there? Good morning. Are you there?
Great. Hello?
Hi, good morning.
And good morning, Faro.
Hey, good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, Dwight. I just like one of your texts, right? Not to take away from none of the people, but at the end of the day, right? Over the years, we done been seeing how these things that must be compiled, right? Right. When they are for them in power, they look for their special people and they honor them. See, we have to stop playing games in this country, man. Right? When we have a national board, right? When we have a national board that is clear and separated from our political parties, right?
then the national awards can really be making some sense to me, right? Because we have people, we have a lot of people like you all indicated, would deserved, and for years and being overlooked because inclined, right? So that's we have to be real, and we have to stop massaging these politicians as if they are doing anything different than they was ever doing. They are doing the same things over and over, and everybody in their right mind could see some of the names that what was called people who shouldn't be on that on what you call it. But we trying to grow a nation, or we trying to grow a certain class of people. We have to grow a nation, man, because the message would we just be selling in this country is wrong. We can have somebody who was on the America's top list at one point in their life is now being honored. What that say to this country? What does that say to this country? You know what that says to this country? We willing to do anything once we are being paid or getting some compensation from it, man. But you guys have a wonderful day.
Man.
Yeah, some strong language.
The day after independence.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
No, I mean, I think politics, unfortunately, it finds its way in whether, subconsciously or consciously, it finds its way in almost everything we do in this country. Unfortunately, we're just not that mature yet on the level of separating it completely. But I do believe this is more of a national exercise, right? And just some of the names I've heard, I know some of them, and I know that they have a varied background. It's not just one particular party, right? But to the caller's point, though, Dwight, it is hard. It is really, really hard for us to separate politics in this country. Hopefully, the younger generations, they break out of that. But generally speaking, we do find it seeping into so many day-to-day things it shouldn't be in.
Yeah. Wow. We have. No. Okay. Calls 323-6232. Oh, we do. Hi, caller. Good morning.
Good morning, Dwight. I identify myself for the purpose of this call. Fred Munnings, member of the National Heroes Committee.
Freddie. Thank you very much. All right. So
happy belated Independence Day to you and your family and to the entire Bahamas.
Same to you. Same to you. I'm glad you're calling.
Since the inception of this award system, me and others of the committee have been sorely disappointed in the way that this is being manifested. It's being politicized and bastardized, and that's not the intention. The National Heroes Committee, who advocated for many years, over 25 years, to get the national honors in place, is still not that it deserves. Just before this, we had the Queen's Awards or the King's Awards, whatever they are. They are supposed to have been abolished by now.
Right.
Secondly, when you have hundreds of persons being honored, it dilutes, as someone else has said earlier, the value of what we're trying to achieve. Thank God they're not giving hundreds of awards to the hero. I believe Pompey is one that has gotten the award this year, and I think that's great. So the Poor Black 8, that was great. And one or two other national heroes. But when it comes to the award system, every politician, it seems, all of the permanent secretaries last year, everybody who ever had a job got an award, it seems. Hundreds. That's not the intent. I'm not saying that these people do not deserve it. But if you're being paid to do a job, why should you be recognized as a national hero? My point is, it's being politicized and bastardized. And the current chairman is leading the charge. That happens to be Fred Mitchell. I call his name. He was one of the original founding members of this organization. He knows that was not the intent. And he has been told that by many others, and so I'm saying it publicly now to him and others. The bottom line is we have to recognize our people, and basically it is that person or persons who have done something significantly in their community, change and influence the community and the nation by their sacrifice, in many cases personal sacrifice, not to their own benefit. And as you have said, and your co-hosts say, we need to educate the public as to what the National Heroes Honors System is all about. It's not a political tool. It is not to be used in the way it's being used. And I say that, and I say it publicly, and I hope that we do something about it.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Freddie. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right. So clearly, we have to do a segment on this. So I'm going to organize it and find out exactly every part of this.
I'm sure there's a representative or there's someone who leads this charge from a government standpoint. So maybe we can get them on and just provide some clarity. I'm not saying anything is untoward. Some better understanding is needed. Public
absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, we've got a few more text messages, and this person says here, this is back to BPL. It's definitely not 2 outages for the year. I recall 2 extended nighttime outages, and I vaguely recall multiple short outages. No, I'm saying for my area, it's been really good. But I know people have been having a lot of issues. People who a few years ago were almost laughing at the frequency of the outages in eastern New Providence, they're tasting that bitter pill now, and their power going off weekly.
I think on Tuesday, maybe my power went off. I was really annoyed. I was like, wow, this hasn't happened in a long time. And come to find out, it was actually a planned outage that was communicated days before, right? So I implore people sometimes to look at some of those on Facebook maybe and Twitter, maybe, I think something like that for BPL, where you can kind of know what's coming down the pipeline for your area if you're on the list.
Yeah.
It's not always due to some fault.
Right.
I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. the BPL / Pike Kool-Aid.
Boy. But you're right. You're right about
they
that.
Stuck to the schedule. I mean, it was like half an hour after they said it would go off, it went off, and maybe like 20 minutes after they said it would be on, it came back on. So they generally kept the schedule as well. So that leads me to believe that it was actually
good stuff. This person says here, people are giving away millions grandfathered from proceeds of crime. Does not impress me. What now? And if anybody believes these people would have had access to multi-million, okay, it's getting very specific here, but I hear you. Another texter, what is the criteria for this list? Too many people are being honored. Another text here. Oh boy, so people have some issues with this. Very concerned about one of those names and how they got on this list. Wow.
Yeah, we knew. I mean, and we knew, and I'm sure they themselves knew, and the person, the government, everybody knew that there's always going to be someone on the list or some folks on the list that we're going to scrutinize a bit harder than everybody else, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Which this time around.
So last year, I recall at least one wacky text about Kate Moss being on it, and somebody having an issue with that, which was very disturbing. So far, nothing about Pompey, which is good, but not inviting any crazy talk, but that people are recognizing that this is worthy of being honored. So that's good stuff there. Let's hear it from you, caller. Good morning. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Farrell. Good morning, Mrs. Strachan.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I just want to make a comment. I'm not interested in how big the list was or what, but I mean, I think more educators should have been on it. And then some whistleblowers should have been on it. So we should start with Hubert Ingram after being made conscious about the stories that Aaron Green read. Of course, Kate Moss. Before that, I was lost. And Pompey. And so I'm amazed at Pompey that they say Slayers was dumb, but I'm amazed at how he was able to have the knowledge to navigate from Exuma to Nassau, which people may think is easy.
Who said slaves were dumb?
No, but you know the narrative, right? Ignorant. You know what I mean?
Slave masters? I think they were the only people who said that.
On the eugenics record office, Dwight, Christopher Davis talked about eugenics. There's positive eugenics, negative eugenics, and if you could go online and just look at the list of the prominent American families that were members of the American Eugenic Society coming out of Coal Harbor Springs, New York. Not only Chris has this knowledge, even they respect his intricate knowledge of the Bahamas. And there is a book called Southern Journey, in which many Kate Moss's stories happen in the South. But what I'm saying is maybe people like Hubert Ingram, for standing up against, and then I'm not hearing School's brand name for his revolution that he's trying to start in the city. And we have the lady at him. We have many whistleblowers. People, it was Janik Bosick on it, was Freddie Munnings and his family on it, and different people. You could just make a list. Like, it should be non-biased and it should be straightforward. So, I glad the gentleman called and said that it was the people in the community that put forward these names for people to be honored. But I realize that we are much conformed, and I'm not knocking on Farrell, but you said that politics get into everything. Politics had infected the COVID science during the pandemic, in which they took over everything. But as it relates to a statement that Farrell upsetted me the other day on the radio when he gave something, he said, just go along with the norm. The Pope, for a black man, the Pope really shouldn't mean anything to us. So it shows colonialism. I can't remember it word for word, but it was something that Farrell said as it relates to the whole world, deifying, just saying the Pope means something to them, which in really it shouldn't be. That's just the way we are. But and listen to these rewards, right, or these name calling that you call it. Some of these people deserve it. But what I'm saying is it is too political. And so even some police officers and all, I didn't hear Paul Thompson name and, other prominent police officers who people know. I mean, let's listen to me, Dwight. My father was a police. And some of the intricate stories that made him sit in the old days. And you know what he told me once? He said a lot of people you hear calling, even in the police force, as they so infallible, they were dirty. Bless up. I don't need telling what he tell me. Bless up, yeah.
Okay, all right. Are we doing that? Are we officially saying that the Pope is black? I mean, I know he has black family and ancestry, but we're saying he's. I mean, not that it matters, but that's you're claiming that he okay.
Yeah.
Like Bill Clinton, first black bro. Okay, cool. No issue. Just fine. Farrell, what did you say? What did you said what?
I have no idea.
You better be careful. I
don't know how long ago that was.
The controversies is just stirring up. Wow.
No, they put those days behind me.
Oh man. Okay. Let's get through some more. Okay. You could call us 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Toll free 242-300-5720. Let's take this call before we have to take a break. Good morning, caller.
Dwight and Farrell, sorry for calling back, but Dwight, I agree with everything Freddie Munnings said. But I do have a suggestion. Maybe next year, because it's the 53rd birthday, they can probably honor 53 persons. At least you can say, well, I was a part of the 53. And you would remember that. These 500, 5 years later, they would remember, what year they get on it. So maybe just honor 53 persons. And make sure it includes some of the educators. They want to educate all of us. Spend 3 hours educating us. Some of them. Thank you all very much.
Okay, interesting. So for the year, you get 53, then 60, 73. Okay.
I mean, but at this rate, over the next 20 years, 500 times 20, it's a lot of people. I mean, it's
you won't have anybody else.
A large percentage of your population would be honored. Dwight, let me actually get to you.
Oh my God, probably by 2030. Isn't that something? It's really ironic after, right, as Freddie was saying, that such a few getting the British honors, and then when you have the Bahamian one, you do everybody. Huh.
Well, is the British, but I'm sure, is there a criteria for the national heroes? Is there a cutoff? Is there a cap for how many?
You mean for the British or for the Bahamian honors?
British honors. I'm sure there is.
I believe there's there might be a cap. There might be, but as Freddie said, it was proposed that this would replace, and yet here we are still doing the two, and it is unfortunate.
How many was it last year? Do we know how many there was last year?
A lot. It was almost like this. if I recall correctly. It was
Okay.
a whole
Well,
hell of a lot.
at least it's consistent, right? I mean,
Okay. Okay. Yeah, this person says, yeah, of course, one drop makes you black. Okay.
that is the truth.
So the person who sent the rain text is correcting himself. Not like, what did you make of the rain in the rain season? What did you think of all that rain? I guess from from Tuesday. What was that? Wednesday night into Thursday. Hey, how was it to you, Farrell? Did you?
Oh, I got some plants. Oh my God, they're flourishing.
There
I
you
got
go.
some mango seeds that popped out of the ground. I'm excited.
Oh,
All
man.
because of that rain. So it's a great question, caller. I could use a bit more.
My car needed a good wash, so there you go. Hey, we're gonna take a break. You're gonna take a break and get to the news. We'll pick this up on the other side. Plus, we've got a whole lot more to talk about on this Friday morning. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Nassau's gone so. We've got a doggone beat now. We're gonna call our very own Nassau Rock and Nassau Road. Nassau's got a whole lot of soul. Feel alright. Mini skirts, maxi skirts, and afro hairdo. People doing their own thing and don't care about me or you. Nassau's gone funky. Nassau's got soul now. Oh yeah. And we're gonna take care of business too. Listen to the drummer playing his beat. Listen to the bass man, go get that same groove beat. Listen to the guitar, give that soul some too. Feeling good. The horn gonna bring it on home to you. Need a funky now. Oh yeah, funky, funky massa. Listen good. New York, you know, has got a whole lot of soul. London town is too doggone cold. Yeah, Nassau got sunshine, and this you all know. Yeah, but we've gone funky, and we got some soul too. All right, funky Nassau, funky Nassau, funky Nassau, funky Nassau, funky Nassau, funky Nassau, funky Nassau. Listen, funky Nassau, funky Nassau.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. Also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969 422-4796 on the Guardian Radio text line. And now at 8:23, time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. Dull walls bringing you down? Well, Sherwin-Williams has the cure. Don't have your place looking toe up. Get that glow up with the superior quality of Sherwin-Williams Paints. So here's what's happening. Got a lot going on over the next few days. We've got high pressure centered in the Atlantic, and that's going to expand across the Bahamas, supporting moderate to fresh east to southeasterly breezes across the islands, while a thin layer of Saharan dust is draped over the area. That's going to help to limit shower and thunderstorm activity today and into the weekend. But the northern extent of a tropical wave will pass near the southern Bahamas. That's going to help to trigger a few showers across the southeastern islands. So for now, we're going to experience a typical summertime weather pattern that's going to continue across most of the country into the weekend as high pressure feature. But another mid to upper level low and disturbance is expected to move across the islands by early next week. And that's going to help to elevate shower and thunderstorm chances once again for next week. In the meantime, UV indices, heat indices is going to be high, so you're going to need to keep that in mind. Limit outdoor activities if you can during peak sunshine hours, and hydrate, wear sunscreen, protective clothing, and all of that. And there is a risk for rip currents, a high risk for rip currents along eastern and southern shorelines in the northwest, central, and southeast Bahamas, most of the country. And beachgoers are urged to remain onshore in the southeast Bahamas and should exercise caution in the northwest and central Bahamas. Your forecast today for most of the country: partly sunny, becoming fair tonight, only thunderstorms. High temperatures around 91 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius, but the heat index is going to make it feel like it's 102 Fahrenheit, 39 Celsius. Overnight lows now getting down to the upper 70s, low 80s, around 80, 81 Fahrenheit, about 26, 27 Celsius. That's for today. For the weekend, Saturday, a mix of sun and clouds during the day, becoming fair at night. Pretty much the same for Sunday. As we told you, some changes coming by Monday. Partly cloudy across the northern and northwest Bahamas. Partly sunny for the central southeast Bahamas. Rain chances up slightly. And I'm holding for Tuesday into Wednesday. The tropics are quiet. Tropical cyclone formation not expected during the next 7 days. That's your Morning Blend Weather Check. Weather Check also brought to you by Love on a Tube. The Encore tonight, Friday, July 11th, 8 p.m. at St. John's College Auditorium, Stapleton Gardens. The emotional roller coaster that stole the hearts of audiences across Nassau back for one final encore presentation. Tickets are $50. Box offices at Doc's Pharmacy and 17 Shop, or call 802-0602 to reserve your tickets today. Love on a two-way street, one street, two hearts, a lifetime of choices. And it's time for a check of traffic, brought to you by RBC. With RBC, reaching your goals happens here. As usual, Mile Butler Highway is a hot spot this morning. We're seeing some slow-moving northbound traffic. North of Fire Trail, as you approach Harold Pond, you'll see that if you're heading northbound. Other areas to look out for, we've got Prince Charles Drive along the major intersections, so especially as you're approaching Soldier Road and heading westbound into Robinson Road, some slow-moving traffic there, especially near Old Trail and Marathon East-West Highway. Wolf Road looking busy for you in spots, especially westbound between Mackey Street and East Street. and then some slow-moving traffic along Carmichael Road. But definitely nothing you can't manage on this day after a holiday. I'm wondering how many are actually going to work today. We'll see. But that is your Morning Blend traffic, brought to you by RBC, with RBC in here.
Wendy's and Coca-Cola is giving away up to $25,000 of hot cash this summer. To enter, upgrade any premium combo from 1 through 12 to a medium or a large for your chance to win the grand prize of $10,000. Don't miss your chance to win big this summer. Visit your neighborhood Wendy's, upgrade your favorite lunch combo, and win hot cash. Rules and restrictions apply.
When can I open my eyes?
Not yet. Okay, open. Do you see what I see?
It just looks like land to me.
It's our land, son. A wise investment that will grow with you.
Invest in land with CIBC Carry US $250 towards your valuation cost and 50% off your loan application fee. With CIBC Caribbean Land Financing, you can choose to build, hold, or pass on to your children. Visit CIBCCaribbean.com to learn more. Conditions apply.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
Abaco, get ready for the summer's official rum and beer lingo. Royalty Sounds present Found Facts. Found Facts. Saturday, July 5th, Morris Harbor, Abaco at the Royal Recreation Ground. Gates open 5 p.m., $20 entry. Ladies free before 8 p.m. with Nassau and Abaco's hottest DJ. Don't miss the beer drinkers versus rum drinkers competition.
Right, pulling for the best side, icicle liquor.
Can rum for me. Found Facts, July 5th, Abaco. Sponsored by Collect, the Beer of the Bahamas. Drink responsibly.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more information. Conditions apply.
Tired of the hustle and bustle of Nassau? Fly away to the Family Islands with our fly-free offer for Bahamian residents. Stay at any of our hotels for 2 nights and get a round-trip ticket for free. Visit BahamasResidents.com for details.
My Bahamaland, yes, my country. Come fly away with me.
In these very difficult times when crime is on the increase, you don't need to waste money on imitation security. Get the best at Wemco Security, the company you keep. Don't delay. Call today or visit their office at 32 Collins Avenue, across from Columbus Primary School.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
Come on, hands, 3, 2, 1.
Reach the houses, whip, wop, whip, wop, whip, wop. Reach the houses, whip, wop, whip, wop, whip, wop. Reach the houses, whip, wop, whip, wop, whip, wop.
I gone by the bar, trying to catch a vibe. Met this pretty young thing, you should've seen them thighs. She start feeling up on me, my temperature rise. You think you can handle it, girl? Come meet me outside. We hopped in my car, I carry her home. We hop in my car, carry on. We hop in my car, carry on. We hop in my car, carry on. She sent me a message, so I'm available from AM to PM. I had to go buy protection, can't make her my BM. She got them big melons and I wanted to see them.
Thick like cold grits, fine as can be. Sweeter than guava jam, she got all of me. Waist like a horse, thick in the ties. Call me like your Uber girl, can't come for this ride.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Farrell Goff. And hey, the countdown is on to the annual Peace on the Streets Basketball Classic. Here to tell us all about it, we are very pleased to have back with us Pastor Carlos Reed. Carlos Reed just rode, but hey, Pastor Carlos, member of Parliament for North Andros and Bimini, Leonardo Lightburn. Everybody, welcome. Good morning. Happy Independence. Happy Independence, folks. Good morning. Great to have you with us.
Good morning. Good morning.
All right. So, peace on the
Can you hear me, Dwight?
We can hear you. We can hear you live and loud and clear. What year are we in now, Pastor Carlos Reed?
This is our 30th year.
Oh, man.
It's been 30 years since we've been putting on this event.
Yeah.
30 years.
That's crazy. Wow. So this is a big one. This is a big anniversary event.
Yeah, this is a big deal for us. When we started out, we to be honest, I was disillusioned because I had this dream. I wanted to do something coming from the life that I came from. I wanted to do something in park like the persons that I was once just like. And I was going to asking for support for this event. And I got doors shut on me all over the place, man. I remember one time I went to this big establishment and we sat down with the owner and we had this good talk and we talked about half an hour. And then finally they say, something, we like what you're doing, but we can't support it. That messed me up, man. I went out in my car and I cried that day. But here we are 30 years later. And I believe that it's a testament to other people that we can't give up. Sometimes we don't know who's riding on our hustle, on our persistence.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Wow.
And it's just ironic that you have Farrell on this morning, right? His mom was a big supporter of what I was doing,
Yes.
She had this sports store over in the Grove. And man, she loved the work that I was doing,
Yeah, she loved you, Carlos. Boy, she loved you. She definitely believed in the cause.
Yes, sir.
That's pretty cool. So remind people, let them know why this is important. What the ultimate objective is of Peace on the Streets.
Well, our slogan basically says that we shoot hoops instead of guns. We're living at a time where our cultures define the way we react and the way we respond to situations. What we're trying to do is to be able to get our young talent exposed on the basketball courts before they reach the Supreme or the magistrate courts. So this event is to really showcase our athletes and to present opportunities for them. We have coaches that come in from the United States from time to time to be able to scout. I have a number of contacts in the States, coaches that are coaching over there, and they're constantly asking if we know talent. A number of young men have come back to me and says that, they got their start. They're playing professional or college basketball now in the United States, and they got their start out of Peace on the Streets. Mm-hmm. So our goal is to be able to open doors so that our young people could be able to walk through.
Yeah, you've talked about it before, some of the guys who have really made it big. To remind folks of some of the big names who have come through.
Well, our organization, we have been instrumental. God has used us to impact like some good people. Take for instance, Travis Robertson, member of Parliament, I think that we had in the Caribbean. He came to our program. He came to us when he was 11 years old. Came to us with a 1.7 GPA, enrolled in our after school program. And in 1 year, his GPA shift. Travis was able to graduate from his junior high school with a 3.8 GPA, and even as the head boy, went on to CR Walker, continued to excel, became the head boy there, and the rest is history. When you look at a person like Landlord came from the streets. Landlord was living in cars when we met him. We took him off the street, gave him some place to stay, and now Landlord has a television and radio show that's being syndicated to hundreds of different radio and television stations in a number of different countries. In fact, a few years ago, I got a call from Landlord. He was in Germany. Say he just sang in the front of almost 300,000 people, you know? So I could go on and on with like persons that God has used in the street to impact. Even our shock treatment program, we're seeing like persons that come through that end up on the police force, defense force. We got a young man that came through that. He is now supervising in the Bank of Nova Scotia. So I'm just happy that lives are being impacted through a broken life such as mine.
Yeah. Wow. So I want to ask you about this, and we've seen in the last few weeks a lot of violent incidents, just some shocking ones as well, shootings. What's your take on what's happening right now? And it doesn't even seem to be just young people. We're seeing some guys who should know better based on their ages. But what do you make of what's going on?
Right, it's a number of different things. Take for instance, in 2020, we had an epidemic that hold the whole world hostage, and I don't think that we are cooperated, and I don't think that we are being honest with like the damage that it did. A lot of people were forced to be in situations that they didn't really want to. What am I saying? Uh, Normally, you have couples live together, and if an argument or disagreement break out, some would say, "Look, see, let me come out of here before I get myself in problem." But what happens when you can't leave? I speak for the men in a lot of cases because I talk to a lot of men, and they say, let's say the wife feeling some kind of way, say he go on the basketball court or even go to the bar or something to blow his steam off. But what happens when you can't leave home? You're forced to stay in that situation, and then you damage your emotion. Damage people do is raise damage kids. So I don't think that we really got like a grip on really what COVID caused us. Not only that, we have a culture that's influencing our streets. When we look at like our counterparts, even in TCI, Turks and Caicos, right? They're battling the same thing. Our culture, even as we celebrate independence, right? Our culture is a loving culture, but we have some cultures that are now being integrated into our culture that is violent in nature. A lot of people have they're responding to being disenfranchised through the way people treat them. We have this. Our, 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 our country is made up of a number of different other countries. And if we don't deal with our situation and make sure that we address it in the right way, we're gonna see this for years to come. Yeah, and the other contributing factor to this is we have to now look at what are we producing. When we look at our school is a laboratory. We have to make sure that we are preparing people for what we say that we're preparing them for. We shouldn't just be where kids are forced to just go through. academics. We should be preparing them. It should be an end in mind. What are we trying to create? What are we producing in these laboratories? Are we preparing people who are going to be able to embrace a future when they come out of school? Or we just want people that's going to come out with certificates and report cards? When we look at like our young people, basically, this is a new breed. I've never seen young people like what I see today in the 30 plus
Carlos,
years
if
that
you
I've
don't
been working
mind,
with young people.
Carlos, you raised a good point there, right? With this breed of quote unquote breed of young people, and you've been at this a long time. Your finger is definitely on the pulse and has been for years. Is it getting worse, or are we seeing the same trends repeat? Is it getting better, or in your opinion, are you dealing with more challenges or more of the same challenges?
I think we're dealing with more challenges now. And one of the things that our culture has dictated us is that we got to look for somebody to blame for the situation that we find ourselves in. I believe that if we're going to get better as a country, then every last one of us have to play a part of it. When we think about our population, I believe it's safe to say that over 60% are good law abiding citizens. So let's say that if each one of those 60%, right? Each one of those persons that's numbered in that 60% was to reach one person, even if it's just their child, even if it's their nephew, whatever, even if it's a co-worker, even if it's an employee, to impact somebody. We got to get out of this myth that it's the government problem, it's the police problem, it's the church problem. This is our Bahamas. That's all our problem. So we got to be the change that we basically want to see.
Yeah, yeah. Leonard Lightborn, I think I incorrectly said Bimini, but it's North Andros and the Berry Islands. Would love to get your take on this as a lawmaker on what's happening in terms of the violence and what we need to do as a country, as communities in this regard.
Good morning. Good morning, Mr. Strong. Good morning, Mr. Reed.
Hi,
Thank
good
you.
morning.
Thank you for
Hey, Nobby.
thank you for having me on the show. I concur with the Mr. Reed in regards to what's happening in our country today. However, laws are already in place. I think it's a matter of reinforcing and monitoring, and but really reinforcing. There are things on the books that probably needs to be amended. But again, as lawmakers, it's our decision to make sure that these things happen. The voice of the people is always stronger than those in parliament, right? So I think we'll have to start making some real hard, harsh decisions. You know, sometimes in our country, nobody cares about it until they reach their doorsteps. You know, it's your mom, my uncle, my sister, my brother, that we show concerns. But however, we are here for the voice of the people, and if the voices are louder than ours, I think there's some tough decisions to be made. And in Parliament, and as a member of Parliament, we have to make some tough decisions, and even as a government. And so I concur with Mr. Reid. However, again, Mr. Reid, he has been one of the leading faces in regards to silence the violence, the guns off the street, shooting basketball. Myself, who have a background in business administration. I've also been a professional basketball player as well, played overseas in South America and Europe. I came through college program. I think I played twice in the league as a player back in the day that I won. I won both divisions. I won my divisions. I got a total out there.
Wow.
Yeah, but somehow now I'm just taking a lot of beating with the pastors versus politicians right now. So he got he has the upper hand with that.
Honorable Lightborn, if I may, when you talk about some of the hard decisions that have to be made, and we've seen some countries do this to bear fruit 20, 30 years down the road, right? They make some of the tough decisions now. Can you share some of them that may be being tabled or being worked on the drawing board that could make a tangible difference, whether tomorrow or 10 years down the road as it relates to managing our youth and turning this
as a
direction around?
part of the government, I can speak for what has been hearing in the streets and through social media in regards of capital punishment and things like that. This has been probably the number one thing that's been coming up. As the government, we need to probably put some emphasis, get around the table, maybe put some more amendments, like I say, more enforcement, because some things are on the books. However, the decision is still to be made from a government standpoint. But again, the voices of the people is always should be, not always, but should be heard first. And so we'll see, I guess, down the road, whether it's that tomorrow or another year or the next election period or 5 years from now, who is to tell? But however, we have to silence the violence. We have to find a way to minimize the heinous crimes and things that we see going on. So as a government, I'm here for the push. I'm here to represent the people of Nabi. And like I say, sometimes we don't say anything at all. The noise get louder.
Do we have any laws being considered that will hold parents more accountable to their kids and how they raise them, or providing some support?
I mean,
to parents?
we come from a biblical background country that preserves. I mean, it's all in the Ten Commandments. I mean, as parents, you got to uphold these as citizens. As far as parents, I think, like I say, they're on the books. We just need to enforce them. You know, if it's a minor out there doing heinous crimes, the parents are responsible for that minor and what's happening. But however, again, because it's not our sister, our brother, and so forth, we just kind of, I think, turn a blind eye. But it goes beyond. It goes beyond. And not only that, from a parenting standpoint, these kids leave the homes and they end up in the education system, and that's another parental guiding environment for these kids to be in. So persons like Carlos Reed and the short treatment and the Peace on the Streets and other organizations that try to bring help to the young men and young women in our country, I think we need to put a lot of support and things behind those, because sometimes parents alone can't do it. Parents come from other parents, a generation, and sometimes it comes from the root and not so much the tree. You know, the tree produces the fruit, but the root is where it all started. So sometimes we got to look back years and years. Oh, my granddad was a gangbanger. Oh, my dad was a gangbanger. My uncle, my sister, my brother. So it's an ongoing thing. And like families, you know, the pastor was, my granddaddy was a bishop. Now I'm a bishop, the deacon. These things have traits. These things have we have a following that comes along. So it's hard. It's not an overnight thing, Mr. Gulf. We need you, Mr. Strachan, myself, Reed, and everybody else in this country, you know, to help to pick one up. You know, if you see it, you call it out. Sometimes we just turn a blind eye to most things that could easily be done. And sometimes we need more heroes in our country, I guess. You know, persons who willing to assist somebody. You see on social media, you see a lot of these guys and persons, women and female getting dragged, people video recording. Why you don't drop that phone and stop? You could stop a lot of things, you know. So we have a lot of persons who engage, who see this as that's a highlight. I'm doing this for likes. I'm doing this for social media and so forth. And at the same point in time, 1 minute later, that person could been alive. If you would probably drop your phone and, you know, help that individual.
Yeah.
So there's a lot we got to look into. And we probably have to put some laws into it. These persons recording and doing such things, because I mean, if you really look at it, they're almost becoming accessory crime in some sense.
Oh boy. Wow.
So I don't know. I mean, it's just something to think about, Gulf. I don't know. I'm just saying something to think about.
Yeah, that's a whole other show. That's a whole other
big
show.
stuff.
Thank you, Lightburn.
I am very curious to get Carlos Reed's take on that, though. Parents and holding parents responsible. How far can you go with that? What do you think?
I believe that we have laws that as being amended through the Child Protection Act to be able to do that. But our problem in this country is more systemic than what it looks on the surface. We have to fix the judiciary system. This administration has done a lot of work when it comes to that in creating more courts to be able to push people through it. For years, we had a backlog or have a backlog in our judiciary system where basically we got about almost 400 persons that are being charged before the courts with murder. But we got to get them through. Now, here's the challenge. The challenge says the Attorney General office that it takes about 3 months to try every murder case. So when you look at 400 plus on the books, right, that creates a problem, because almost for the past 10 years, we've been averaging over 100. All right, so we got to be able to find ways how we clear the books. But every time, like I said, people complain about it. Take, for instance, like they talk about plea bargaining. And this is a way to be able to free the court. But as soon as somebody makes a plea to get a bargain, people have a problem with the amount of time that they get. You know, in some cases, right, drastic times require drastic situations. And we got to give and take in some cases to be able to bring ourselves to normalcy, because if we don't clear the backlog, then we can never have justice. Why? Because justice delayed is justice denied. If a person knows that if I kill somebody today, I ain't got to worry about going to court until the next 5 years. Wait, we create a monster. because he knows within that 5 years he can eliminate the persons that could identify or be held as witnesses to the case. So it's more systemic than it looks on the surface. And from where I sit, right, there has to be, we have to be more intentional about clearing like the dockets in the courts so that we can move people through a system. Like take for instance, over the past 2 years, we have opened up a gun court, bought the gun court back. Right now, persons that are found with gun, they could move through the system more smoothly rather than going to some of these magistrate courts. And when they go to these courts,
I think we lost Carlos
Oh
there.
boy.
We might have
Okay.
to get him back.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll work on that. You mentioned Leonardo Lightburn that you played. I've always wondered how tall are you?
6'5".
Well,
when I was in college, for some reason they give me an extra 2-3 inches. I'm not 6'6". I don't know. I'm 6'5".
Oh man.
On record. My driver's license says 6'5". Let me just put that over there.
And you just let these passes be dunking you off. What
Yeah,
happened?
no passes dunking me off. They the last 3 years I've played in the tournament, they got some victory. But in the 29 years, to be honest, the politicians have never won.
What?
So, yeah, so 29 years, and this being the 30th. So hopefully this upcoming on the 20th, we could turn that around, Mr. Gulf. Hopefully
Well,
we can
I
turn
hear
that around.
the PM could be on the team this year, right? You got a bar 3-pointer. Bar 3-point shot.
Well, I can tell you this: we need all hands on deck, man. We need all hands on deck. And speaking with the PM, we got to give hats off to, of course, my government. What we're doing, a lot of things out there and people are saying, but lives are better today. Lives are better today they were than yesterday. And so we will continue to push as a government, continue to assure that the behemoths are put first. A lot of things that were put plus in amendments and policies was put in place in Parliament that was going to benefit the people. You see our energy sector, you see what's happening in sports. Minister Bowleg is doing so much things on Paris and Carifta. You saw me even brought about Bahama Games. How long you haven't even seen a Bahama Games? Let's think about that. So you gotta see some of most of the good that the government that we're doing. We're doing things to impact behemoths, and we're trying to. I hear everybody out here, but the taxes. But hey, lives are better. Lives are better.
All right. So on your team, though, it's not just people from the government, right?
No.
There's gonna be some.
No. Now we have Kailash Rolle. He's going to be a part of the team. We have also Cassius Stewart. He's going to be there. We have Aram Lewis. We have
these fellas know how to dribble a ball. I didn't know that. I thought all they could do is talk.
The parliamentarians, they were there before. So even Mr. Pintard, remember he played back in the day. So our first year he was there. He played on the parliamentarian team, but I'm sure he's going to be out there support Lincoln Bain and others. So this is a parliamentary thing. This isn't just those who sitting in cabinet or sitting in the House of Assembly. Mm-hmm. This is politicians. So politicians, wherever they may be, they can come and set foot. This isn't about just MPs. I think they're trying to wind it down, Strachan, the MPs. But I always tell Reed, hey, how you gonna wind us down to MPs? And you got these fellas who just coming out, just joining the church, now they're deacons. They probably even got on the ankle bracelets and all this stuff when they're playing, right?
Oh, oh boy.
Not are you wrong for that? You're wrong
terrible.
for that.
Oh my gosh, that's a slam dunk there. Okay, so
God, that's blasphemy.
That's terrible.
Oh, okay. I better take that one back.
He didn't know you was back. He didn't know you was back.
Oh, well, that's the trash talking. That's the trash talking there.
It is.
So have you been practicing? You got time to come together and practice?
Well, we've been going out here and there as a team. We use a little basketball. I want to call it a ceremony every Tuesday at 6 p.m. That's just called a ceremony. That guys come out there at the Hope Center and we play. But we're going into the gym. This starting Monday for a few days until it's time for showtime. But however, guys have individually been doing their own things. You see Zane had something on social media with him working out in the gym and Clay Sweeting of some TikToks and Leon Lundy and also Kingsley Smith. So a few guys are out there doing their individual thing. Mm-hmm. I'm here just staying indoor doing a little gym stuff here and there, but I got to pick it up. Like I said, this 30 is going to be big. We can't allow Carlos to go in with the 30th bragging about 30 years and just beating on politicians, right?
Wow. So, Carlos, is that right? The politicians have never won?
They've never won. And
oh, man.
I don't think they will. You know, see when it comes to this, right? See the kingdom is on the line. We can't let God out of
I
there. We
see.
can go to God and ask God to answer our prayer.
Oh,
No,
dear.
we got to win the battles.
That's some serious
You know,
talk there.
and you know something else. This Sunday we are ordaining Clay Sweeten. Uh, he's he's transitioning from the politicians. He's gonna come over on the pastor side. You know, we've been waking up with him for weeks now, weeks and months. You know, so I told the prime minister the other night, who's going to be the coach of this team, that we are going to ordain Clay Sweeten, and we're going to
Now,
have him
see,
come
we don't know if
across.
you're joking
He's
or
going to
not.
cross the floor.
Are you joking, or are you being?
No, that's just trash talking.
Okay,
That's just trash
okay.
talking.
All right.
You see, there you go, Stro. I don't think God gonna be pleased with that one either.
All right. No, that's two low blows there. All right. So who's on the clergy team?
We have Don Clark. We also have Father D'Angelo Bow. We have the president of the Christian Council. We got some other young pastors like DJ Godson. He's a minister in the church. We got some young ministers, some new pastors. We pretty much the same team that we had last year. Pretty much the same team that we've been spanking those fellas with. But you know, because I love these guys, they're my friends. I love them, right? We even went and we bought back Kayla's role to help them out in North. You know, and we've been helping Kayla's role get in shape. You know, we love, you know, let me tell you something, right? We have fun with this game, right? But what this game was established because Fenton Nemo. I remember the FNM had won the election. And I went to Fenton and I said, look, man, I want to do the celebrity game, but I want it to be like FNM against PL. They need healing. So why don't we combine them and we find somebody else to play like y'all? And that's how this was born. And the impact this has had, right, was realized one year. The prime minister played in the game, but him and Charles Maynard, the late Charles Maynard, they were going at each other's throat in the House of Assembly, back and forth. And Charles Maynard fell down on the floor. And I watched our prime minister, who wasn't prime minister at the time, go over to him, put a hand out, and help him up. And I said, boy, that's the power of sports, man. That we can have our differences, but then when we get on the basketball court, we can forget about all of them. So the idea is to bring persons together for a light moment where the country could see that, look here, we humans. You know, we despite what we go through in social media, in the news, we still humans.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so remind folks when this game is. This is on Family Night. Tell people all about what that is.
The Family Night is on the 20th. We're going to have all of our championship games. We're going to start playing Monday coming down at the Hood Center. Persons are going to buy for an opportunity to play in the championship game at the Kendall Isaac. And during this night, we're going to have like all our championship games. We're going to have the Joey Slam Down competition. We're also going to have the Mr. Shipper 3-point shootout. Then we're going to have this game between the pastors and the politician. And that night, Dwight, boy, we giving away a whole heap of things. This is our idea. We're giving away round-trip tickets on Bahamas Air. We're giving away round-trip tickets on Inter-Caribbean. We're giving out flat-screen TV. Somebody going to get an opportunity to win $1,000 that night, right? We got all kind of stuff, BT, some stuff. We're going to be giving out some stuff. So look here. You got to be inside the Kendall Isaac on the 20th. The 20th, that's a Sunday evening. We ain't got nothing else to do because NBA done shut down. 20th, the gym is going to be cold, ice cold. The concession stand is going to be open. Bring the family down and support our week. Dwight, 30 years? 30 years?
Oh, it's a big one.
You know, and to be honest, right, I honestly thought that our country has forgotten about me, right? And I want to say kudos to the Governor General. Yesterday, I got news that they bestowing an honor on me during the Heroes Day in October. You know, so
Excellent.
my name appeared on that list, and it caused tears to run in my eye because that's something I wasn't expecting. Because what I do, I don't do it like for recognition, but the fact that like countries outside of our country have recognized the work that I do and have gave me awards for that, you know, and to see like our country, particularly in our 30th year, it's a defining, it's a humble moment for me.
Yeah. Congratulations. That is wonderful
Congrats.
stuff there. That's great stuff. All right. So we're running out of time, but really quickly. So to win the prizes, you just need to be there? I mean, how's that going to work? How does it work?
Yeah, it's gonna be there. You just gotta have a lucky ticket. Just
Okay.
to have a lucky ticket. Just
That's
to have
fantastic.
a lucky ticket. You get your tickets early because that gym is gonna be full. That's gonna be full. You know, we got a lot of people who follow us. A lot of people. So we're gonna have a defining moment. I believe that everybody that is somebody is gonna be in the gym. So we want to encourage like people to come out, and we want y'all to come out and support your MPs. Guess what, right? The church, we always support it. You know, the churches come out and support us. They love us. Come out, support your MPs, man. Show them some love. You know? So when they get spanked like the little babies that they are, y'all can wipe their tears.
Right.
Well, I concur with Mr. Reid in that in regards. I encourage all the members of Parliament to really encourage their constituents to come out and support. You know, even if they're not coming out to support us, but just come out to support the event and what's being pushed in terms of helping and assisting our young men on the streets today. Also, right before we close it, I just want to just throw in this. You know, this is not a paid advertisement, but you know, I'm now sort of member of Parliament for North Andros and the Berry Islands, and this weekend we're having our 30th. 30th year, see 30th again for the regatta, North Andros and Berry Island Regatta in North Andros.
Wow.
I want to encourage everybody to come on down. We got ZNS Live. We got the all the Bohemian artists. So we got the A, B, and C class boats. A, B, and C. We haven't had those in over 15 years, the A and B. So this is big things happening in North Andros this time around. And so I just want to send a public, hey, come on down. We welcome everybody. They say they coming by boat, they coming by plane, wheelchair. Come on down to North Andros and have a good time at Morgan's Bluff. That's the place to be this weekend. Thank you.
Excellent stuff. Wonderful. All right. So this is definitely going to be the place to be, as always, every year, especially this 30th anniversary year. Peace on the Streets Basketball Classic. Come out and see Leonardo Lightburn do his thing. Maybe this will be finally the year the politicians can do something.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Speak it. We got to speak it.
You better stay. You better stay on that lane because I coming to down somebody here.
Oh man.
Make sure we get some pictures of that one. Carlos Reid, congratulations again, and keep up the great work that you're doing with this wonderful initiative. Thank you. Really appreciate it.
Thank you all.
Thank you so much. Dwight, thank you, Bahamas. We want to say thank you to all of those people that make this possible because we can't do this without like all the many people that sponsor us. You know, Atlantis is on board. So many different people on board. Thank you so much from the bottom of our heart. This is not for me, but basically for our country. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for being here this morning. Good luck to all of you. We're going to break for news and be back with business. We're talking about AI combating digital misinformation, especially with the election approaching. When you come back, stay with us.
Don't shop at Sherwin-Williams then. Don't get the best service in the Bahamas then.
The love is really, really strong in Sherwin-Williams. We don't just sell paint. We service you with a smile, good hearts, mind, soul, and body. And we love our customers as much as we love ourselves.
Yes, real talk.
I'm not just saying this
Real talk.
to impress myself.
We love to go beyond with customer service. So they feel delighted to come in Sherwin-Williams because they know I can either see Dee Dee, or I can see Shelly, or one of our other wonderful staff members. We treat our customers with the respect of our boss because there are many paint companies they could choose to go to. No, baby. If they go to some other paint companies, so I gonna get this little thing at the end of the week.
We want to make sure you get that little ting, Shelley. Come visit Shelley and Dee Dee at Sherwin-Williams, Bahamas, and you'll surely find colour in every day.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, talkradio.com, and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas. Hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
At CFAL, we understand that a secure future is the greatest gift you can give your employees. That's why our tailor-made group pension solutions are designed to fit the needs of both large and small companies. With CFAL, you can provide the retirement you and your employees deserve, ensuring peace of mind and financial stability for years to come. Join the many businesses that have already entrusted CFAL to create the right pension plan for their employees, and let us help you build a brighter future for your team. Visit us at cfal.com to get started on building wealth so you can live well. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Friday, July 11th, 2025. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Farrell Goff, and it is time for our monthly series, Safe and Sound, with Gamal Nuri from Preventative Measures. Gamal, good morning. Happy Independence to you.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Bahamas. Happy Independence. Good morning, Mr. Groff. I hope all is well.
Yes, sir.
Indeed, indeed.
I've been waiting on this one. Dwight, I've been waiting on this one. Oh, boy. Gamal in the hot seat this morning.
Oh, my.
This is a big topic.
Indeed.
And it's getting worse, it seems. These fakes and fake news, AI fakes, and the impact this could potentially have on the elections coming up. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today, combating digital misinformation. Wow. Yeah. So we've already seen it. Lots of videos that have people confused, thinking it's something that it's not, and audio, people claiming all manner of things. And to some, they're like, well, how could you be confused about this? And others are like, hey, is this real? So let's talk about it. How bad is it right now?
We're seeing an increase across the globe where images of individuals are being manipulated, and some of it is pure mischief. Obvious. Some of it obviously is very deliberate, very strategic. If we would have looked in the last 30 days or so, we would have seen, in particular, a message coming out from supposedly from the central bank, where they would have cloned and deepfaked the governor of the central bank, making certain claims about, advantages from certain types of investments. That is a very strategic move. That isn't something willy-nilly. Persons identified who is the governor of the central bank, and subsequently they develop a story that is somewhat believable if you're not very discerning. Similarly, we would have seen, again, in the last 30 days, Mr. Sabas Bastian from Ireland Luck and his media group. He was also deep-faked and cloned, again, offering some financial advantage. And his network and his credibility is also very viable. So persons are seeing these opportunities and taking advantage of it. So is it because the advancements we would have seen in AI in the last 5 years, it is phenomenal. It is phenomenal. Where it is very difficult, especially for the average individual, to determine what is actually real and what is actually a fake.
Gamal, it's reaching the point where it's not very difficult. It's reaching the point where it's almost impossible to know if it's real or not. And what freaks me out is that we're just at the beginning of this AI revolution. So in another 5 to 10 years, I mean, how do you guard your sanity and the viability of facts and data. How do you protect that, Gamal,
Right.
in the long run?
And that's the thing. 5 years, it's like each month there's an
Yeah,
advancement.
Yes. Yeah.
absolutely.
The advancements are phenomenal because again, this technology, right, is something that is used for business. This is something that enhances operations, and just like how things could be used for advantage and for good, there are persons out there who are going to take that same technology and they're going to use it for bad. So it is it's a thin line between what is the best and what is good, what is criminal. Those things get skewed because we want to advance, we want to make the world or our delivery of services easier. But with that comes some very obvious risks that are impacting the truth. Because what is true? What is true? It reminds me of the movie The Matrix. What is true?
Yeah.
What is real?
There, at this point, is there a process that you can go through or some steps that you can go through to determine what is viable and what isn't? Like what I mean, just as a general user of the internet, right?
Yeah.
Is like if you see something you're like, boy, okay, it looks like it might be that person. I mean, it might be something they'll say, but is there a fact checking method currently, or even that has become compromised?
Pharrell, you hit exactly on the point. How do we verify? How do we validate? How do we confirm? And you always go back to basics. I always say it is as technical and as sophisticated as things may become, we go back to basics. So you get a message. Let's use the example with the scam coming out with the central bank, right? And you're getting that video. How do you verify that? You make calls, you check where is it appearing on other news media formats? Where is it on the central bank's webpage? Can you make a call to someone, either the central bank, and to validate this? This is where we need to really do our due diligence because it's really on the greed and the need for an advantage. This scam is not a new method. This has been going on for years. When we had the Nigerian scams, we had scams where persons were reportedly placed in some sort of emergency situation in a foreign country. You'll get the phone call, you'll see the email. It's still the same method, just the application has changed. So you now need to go back, slow the pace down, and verify this is information when it comes out. And especially if it's purporting to give you a quick gain. Again, it's the same method. The applications are different, but it's still driving on that human desire to get a quick gain or a quick advantage on a particular situation.
Yeah. Well, what can we do to get people to try to verify something before they forward it to every single one of their contacts? Because that's a huge part of this problem, right?
Right. So here is where the government, and government private sector needs to be a bit more proactive in this initiative because of the risk out there. We cannot wait and see. We cannot continue to wait and see. We need to establish different methodologies and approaches to ensure that individuals can have some way of verifying these particular news feeds or this particular information. So one of the things that I've been looking at, and in some jurisdictions, is called a National Integrity Response Unit, where the governments in those particular jurisdictions have decided, hey, we're not going to wait. We're going to develop a proper channel or a hotline or a platform where you can come and validate, and we give you different means of validating this information. So that's one thing. That's one thing that can be done, right?
How would that work? How does that work exactly?
Okay, so again, this would require the monitoring of the internet. This will also require individuals to submit the particular clip before. So we're sharing it, but we're sharing it like it's a hotline or a reporting mechanism. So you share that particular clip, and the agency will now do their research, do their due diligence, check sources, put it through software that can help to analyze that information and confirm if it's real or it's not real.
So is
Okay.
it using AI to determine if the AI is fake?
This is the catch 20, eh? This is the catch 20. This is the catch 20, right?
Right.
So you have to use this AI, and there is AI out there now that can deliver that type of service.
Yeah.
But again, it's now channeling. It's like a hotline. Hey, you get this information, and now send it to us first. Let's look at it. Let's verify. Here's a link. Do it yourself, even. Again,
But the desire, but again, it's leaving it up to the discretion of individuals, right? And their desire to want to fact check, opposed to buy into the sensationalism and push it along, right? So that's kind of the challenge too, Dwight. Even with that type of
But
platform.
that is the ongoing weak link of the scammer. The scammer, that's
Yes,
the
sir.
advantage of the scammer. The scammer
Yes, sir.
says, "Hey, I'm going to send out 100,000 fake news feeds, right?
And I just need one to bite.
And I just need one.
need one to
I
bite.
just need one of you.
And I can
We
make my
know
money.
So
on
that's what it
Twitter,
is.
Twitter has Grok, I think it's called. And I mean, the people are really running everything and asking, hey, is this real? Did this really happen?
Right.
The number of people doing it is encouraging. So who knows? Maybe
Right.
this would go over well.
But again, it's the amount of people that are doing it. But again, 100,000, 1 million people, and I only need 10 of you.
That's
true. So if what 990,000 persons do it, and I only need 10 of you not to do it, and that's my advantage for the day. And I come back next day, and I'm going to pick up another 10. And this has always been the weak link. You see it across the board, where financial institutions in particular, right? They would have done their due diligence. They would have, they would send out these different news feeds, these awareness campaigns, but nevertheless, someone still clicks on that free trip or that win. You never signed up for the lottery, or you never signed up for this particular competition, but you win this money. And so people are I only need one of you to sign. And that's the challenge. It'll always be the challenge.
Absolutely. All right, so that's one method. What else are you proposing, or what else can be done here?
Right. Well, we have already legislation as it pertains to computer misuse. We have legislations as it pertains to data protection. These legislations now need to be brought up to speed regarding the current trend in the climate. So cybercrime, deep fake legislation needs to come forward, needs to be enforced. It needs to be enforced where entities in particular, I think one of the challenges I know I have had with my dealing with clients, dealing with this particular arena is the lack of reporting and transparency. An entity in an effort to protect their reputation will not report, will not disclose that they have been hacked, there's some type of fraudulent information circulating. They may send a message telling you to be aware, but that really comes behind the fact that they have been hit.
Yeah.
So a stronger legislation, stronger enforcement as it pertains to what is happening, where are your weak links in your organization, and now again, making the regulators as well taking a more active, proactive part in ensuring that the particular business has the work in place to protect itself and protect the clients who are coming there for business.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Now, this is the business perspective. But certainly one of the things that is concerning for me is the as we get into this election season. We have seen also, I think there was something last week or again about 2 weeks ago where I think the foreign minister, Mr. Mitchell, Fred Mitchell, was also voice cloned.
Right.
And we see that again where he had to come out and do damage control. These things, we need to be a bit more proactive in this season because my concern is panic. My concern is just the misinformation and people losing money over these particular efforts.
Yeah.
We saw it to some extent in Dorian. And so AI has been around for a while. So there was a lot of AI fakes going on with Dorian where people were setting up these funds and asking persons to put money. They actually had individuals who, claimed to be victims and now can you send funds to me? So that type of thing. So definitely more proactive legislation and policies to protect ourselves.
So you believe businesses, public figures should respond to everything? because I know some people were saying, how could anyone believe this was real? And even Mitchell said that in his voice note, like how many people, even though it clearly wasn't real, how many people were coming to him asking, "Hey, is this for real?"
How much,
So,
Dwight? Now,
so
how much
should you?
scams, Dwight? How much scams we've seen looms and pyramids and have fallen victim to? I'm just saying. So I don't even think that's fair to say that that someone can't believe someone thought that was real. I mean, the basic AI platforms now, you could in 5 minutes you could create something that could question reality, Dwight. I'm telling you, it's pretty easy. And
Yeah.
and Gamal, we're gonna now start not only the voice notes, but we're gonna start seeing people's faces and looking at
We're
the
seeing that.
environments delivering this. It's scary.
Yeah, we're saying that. I think it goes to risk appetite, and I can appreciate how could anybody think that's real. So if we're using a politician and it's claiming that they're going to be running for a seat in a foreign jurisdiction, then that may be something that they don't need to really address as aggressively. However,
Right.
if it's something speaking specifically to their constituency and perhaps their party, then I would think that they would want to address that immediately. So it's really the risk appetite of that particular individual or entity. What do they consider to be critical?
Or population, Gamal, population. I don't think we're talking about it on an individual level. We talk.
No. But we're talking about an individual who may be if you're an MP or a prospective politician, and there's a claim of you now going to the UK or China, running for an election seat. I'm just using that as an example. Something.
No,
really,
that's good.
Yeah,
So maybe it depends on the country, because I could imagine if it's certain countries, people would believe it.
Really?
Yeah, like I can name one. I
Oh my
bet you would
goodness.
say, "I told you so. I knew it." Right? But we won't go there. We won't. Oh boy. Let's take this call, and we have a lot more to talk with you, Gamal Leary. Caller, you still there? You're on Morning Blend Business, our Safe and Sound series.
Morning, Glenn.
Hi.
Good morning, Mr. Strachan, and to your guest. This is a timely thing that y'all are talking here this morning. Something happened to me between last week Tuesday and last week Wednesday. I got a call from this Indian sounding person asking me if I made any purchases on my card. One was for $1,500 and one was for $500. But now I know I don't have that type of money on that card because I only use that card to get pay on. Then I take the money and I move it to another account. So now I don't know where it is going. But they tell me they can help me if I just give them my last 4 digits on my card.
My goodness.
So, but you know, the Bahamian in me come out when he say that. So I tell him who to ask for the last 4 digits. You know, because, and then you have people who will do it, who will give them the number, take the money on the account. I only use that account to get paid on. And from there, I move my money. If I get paid today, by this evening, that money is gone.
This was a,
So I
you
know
said
I
a
have no
call?
money there.
This was a WhatsApp call, or is this a regular call?
No, this was a one time. It happened to me before. And that's what made me start doing that. I was advised to do that.
Yeah.
But now for me to go now and change where people pay me on this account, different people pay me, it's kind of, you know, little tight. So I just take the money off and I get to another account with no card or nothing.
Boy, callers, sometimes they sound so professional and so
Man, listen to me, sir. This man
It's
almost
scary.
convinced. He almost made me believe I didn't move my money.
Right. And you know, like I said, and kudos to the financial institutions. They on their web pages and some other types of media highlights, they tell you what they will not ask for. So that's important again to be aware of that. A financial, if you get that call, they don't need to get those particular details. They should come with those details and perhaps
If you know
verify.
somebody, hit my card, you should know my number.
Yeah. So
not
so
only
this
that,
is
in closing,
Thank you, caller.
this again where it falls very much in the hands of the consumer to do their due diligence, to be aware of the scams. And like initially I talked about, the responsibility of government and the business, but also you it always comes back to you as the individual, because you are going to be targeted. And you have to do your due diligence as to what the expectations are from a particular business while you're doing work with them.
All right. So how bad could it get as we head into the election? What are the big fears here? Especially as Farrell mentioned, the video quality is getting amazing. It's really looking authentic and sounding better too. Um, and we've heard even the political parties come out expecting this is going to be a major tool in this election. What are the fears here?
The fears are especially. I'd use one thing in particular, right? Certain things are left to the discretion of the prime minister, right? There's a lot of things that are left to their court, where there's nothing established in writing or legislation that says that we have, let's say, fixed days of elections, right? And so now we're getting ready for an election. An announcement comes out that for whatever reason, elections have been postponed. For whatever reason, your constituency, sorry, your polling divisions have been changed. And again, it's coming from a credible source, and now people are moved or decide to go someplace else. People do not show up. So my concern is just the mass confusion that it creates, and then how that would impact how elections are managed. So definitely the mass confusion, and again, the video. The fact that we have the quality of video that we're seeing, right? You have the registrar general, or you have the person responsible for elections, or some other prominent figure actually coming out, and that's out there in the media, and it only needs to be out there for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, and Bahamians start to push it out. And if we're not monitoring this, and I'm hoping that that type of process is already in development by the Ministry of National Security, the AG's office, the agencies that would be responsible for this type of managing the oversight, that they have already started to take certain action to ensure that information, how it's dispensed, is not manipulated to cause mass confusion, to cause persons not to turn out, not to show up for an election. And these are possible. You have to be real about it.
Wow. So I guess media careful as well.
Definitely. But unfortunately, Bahamians right now are getting most of their media through uncontrolled or unmonitored conduits. Your Facebooks, your Facebooks, your WhatsApps in particular. Those things have become the primary source. And so by the time, like I said, that gets out, that's put into several groups, and we share it, and there's discussion about it. But some persons, 10 persons, 20 persons, decide that it's the truth, and they decide to heed to that misinformation. So yes, definitely media groups, official formal media companies need to do their due diligence, but we have to look at the fact that a lot of them are actually even sitting on social media. So I'm going to go to a Facebook to get my feed from a particular media house. That media house has the potential for their information to be distorted. In particular, like I said, there was an incident with the governor of the central bank. It would have appeared that it was coming from an official media source who was doing an interview. So here you see the manipulation again. So the risk is very real and very great. And we're talking about elections, but this could be anything now, from a natural disaster. It could be anything from a sale at a particular business, or a bank is going out of business. So managing these things is so important because of the risk now that exists with AI and deepfakes.
That's terrifying. That is terrifying. All right, we are talking with Gamal Nuri with Preventative Measures. You can give us a call, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 4796. Got some interesting text messages here, Gamal. This person is here. We will change our behavior of carelessly forwarding unvalidated posts when enough of us get hit by the same scams or prosecuted for doing so.
Perhaps. I think it is just being first out of the gate with that. Well, as we say, that juicy news, right? Bahamians going to be the first one to say, "Hey, this is what's happening," And so it becomes a problem. It becomes a problem. We have to be more discerning. I agree. We have to become more discerning. We have to be more critical of what is being communicated, and just control that share finger. Be ready to pull that trigger on the share button. So we have to control that a bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. This texter.
Kamal, I'm in like, several WhatsApp groups, and I mean, daily, I have my friends circulating things around, like, and they're so fascinated by it. There's like, look at this, and I'm just sitting there waiting. Then there's commentary around it, and I'm waiting, and I just get like, sometimes I get tired of being the bearer of bad news. I'll be like, guys, folks, hold on. You realize this is AI, right? No, man, this ain't. You'll be like, oh my God, like,
yeah.
It's already happening. It's already happening, Kamal. Is this like the Napster days with downloading music and movies, where they tried every twist and turn to stop people from being able to pair, share, and create these networks? And to this day, you can download torrents right now. I don't know if it's illegal or what, but I'm just saying it's possible. Is this another, like, this is AI revolution realistically one of those things where it is almost impossible to really legislate and manage?
I definitely think there's more work that can be done in legislating it. It is difficult. And there's a level of impossible but I don't want us to lose hope and just give up. But so there's a level of impossible, because as soon as you make a legislation, or there's something that comes out, because again, individuals are looking for a quick fix, and the fraudsters are jumping on that. The persons who are doing it just for pure malicious intent, they understand the gullibleness of the society. People want to hear bad news, and we get so siloed when it comes to things like politics, when it comes to things like religion, it comes to things like just things that we consider hold so dear to our heart, and people are going to take advantage of that.
Yeah.
People are going to take advantage. There are ways of doing it, but I mean, it is going to be a very difficult, it's going to be a very difficult task to get it done. Very difficult task.
Got a call here. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Mr. Strachan. Good morning to Kamal, Nui, and Farrell again. I'd just like to make some statements and like Kamal to respond, right? And so, as educated as people are, right, you have to realize what technology is going to be used for. Now, there are going to be pros and cons to everything, right? That's just logical. This is my opinion, and I'm looking at the observations here. As Kamal talked about the lack of legislation and the implementation needed. Of course, people doing these sort of things, right, Kamal? I think criminal charges should be brought against them. When you look at the amount of misinformation, and like say, destroying someone's character. So we have situations where AI can be used to do little simple things like that, distractions, et cetera. And then we have where AI can be used for factual distortions. So seeing that we have the internet and the information overload, we can even override factual misinformation by using the internet itself. And so then we look at destroying someone's character, which is a different model. But then when we look at mainstream media and the misinformation, they are spreading, let's say, the ability to control what people see. And the status quo narratives as it relates to the past, where the major news stations, CNN, et cetera, they're able to spew what they want to spew. And Farrell is very intelligent, because Farrell realized that Farrell said something very important, that the fact checkers is being compromised. Right or wrong, Farrell? You saw this during the pandemic. And so, in other words, AI, it's more like an attempt for man to become omnipotent. I saw an AI app appear on my phone, right, Kamal. I saw the AI circle. I've never asked AI anything. I don't want to ask him anything. I had a very difficult problem with a piece of chair I'm upholstery. I wanted to ask AI how to solve it, but I said I won't ask them because I'll figure it out myself. But what I'm saying is, we must realize where we're headed with this AI. It's really, they're going to use AI as plausible deniability. And when you look at the potentiality of what could happen from things failing to AI to robots being autonomous, it's all an advantage for them to really do and get away with things that man is controlling AI. Man has put the algorithms in AI. So I'm saying, for me, how do they get these algorithms for people's voices. They're now telling you to ask AI this and ask AI that. That will be used against you the same way all of the pictures that people sent over the time from Androids were invented, smartphones, et cetera, et cetera. You see, I don't know if I'm smart. I'm smarter than these phones because what I'm saying is I'm able to see the ideal behind it. So it's more like a devolution. You see, because I'm not impressed with technology. I know what it's designed to do, destroy humanity and control humanity. So when they say population control, it's not about really decreasing numbers. They're into doing that too, but it's really about controlling those that live on the planet and every social aspect of our lives. And so we must realize the dangers of it. And like I said over and over, because I've read the book, The Impact of Science and Society, and some people think I wear a tin foil hat, but technology is running away with humanity, and AI is the mark of the beast, whether you believe it or not. Give thanks.
Okay, all right. Wow, Kamal, I don't know if there's anything you can say after that. We got a similar text saying AI has come to ruin us all. This is AI. It's just an amalgamation of all the data they are collecting from actual human beings. Pure evil. Yeah.
Yeah, and there is, how should I put it? You know, the intent of AI, or the perceived intent of AI, is to make work life. There are individuals who use it for nefarious intent, and that's one of those things with any type of from the invention of the club, right, which was used to go hunting, or the knife that was used to take someone to help you cut up meat, right? Someone determined that I could use this against a human being, right? From the internet, again, the dissemination of information. So now that comes with some risk. I use an example. When I teach armed robbery prevention, but the intent of a financial institution or a business is to be place itself on a main street that it's easily accessible for its customers. That's the advantage. That's why we want to go on this main road or this busy intersection so my customers can get in and out of my business. So the same thing, the criminal looks at that and say, hey, this place is in a good location. I can get in and out with my robbery. So these are the risks associated with business. And we have to learn to do a better and putting the necessary protocols and preventative measures in place to better mitigate the risk of life. We live in a hurricane. We live in the hurricane zone. So what are you going to do? You're going to need to prepare yourself for a hurricane. Yeah. You go in the water, you're going to get wet. These are just the inherent risks
to Kamal's point, Dwight, AI isn't inherently good or bad. It's not inherent. It's not necessarily here to take down humanity or even prop up humanity. It's a tool. It's a very powerful, albeit very powerful, possibly one. I think this may be even more powerful than the advent of the internet, to be honest with you. It's an incredibly powerful tool for business and for adding to the efficiency of human life, almost to a fault, but it's not good or bad. I mean, so when people talk about AI came to do this, they're kind of being a little dramatic. But I do believe the threats are pretty broad in terms of what can happen as humans develop it further and push it for a particular agenda. But again, it's neither good nor bad. It's like money, right? Money is not good nor bad. It's what it's a vehicle. It's what you.
I think the better analogy is like a gun, right?
Not really. I think the world could exist
you sure?
without guns. Yeah, the world could. No, the world. I don't like that one. I mean, you can take this off.
Kamal, I know I'm sure you have an interesting view on that.
Oh, definitely.
Is it like a gun? Would you say it's like a gun?
Yes, and I mean, to Pharrell's point, it's a tool. I mean, it's how do you decide to use it? You're going to use it to defend or take life? Are you going to use money to abuse? It's a tool. Yeah. So the tool in the wrong hands.
Exactly.
An uninformed hands or hands with malicious intent is going to be a dangerous tool to humanity.
And unregulated, a tool without good regulations with teeth, by the way. I mean, I think this is something that the world, Kamal, I'm sure you could speak to this, that the world has to come together. Similarly, what the world did for COVID. I feel like this is another one of those situations where we have to pause and all stakeholders need to come together and figure out what is the future of AI and the speed of the development of AI and the impact going to be over the next 20, 30 years. I think that has to be decided globally and then enforced.
Yes. Agreed. And I think that is something that I know just doing my research that there is discussions. It's just again the political will by the various, the major powers to take advantage of it, because how it's being used, how it's going to be policed, who is going to have that say. Those are a lot of things that are in discussion now with AI, because it's such a, as I mean, they're saying that it is, but I think AI has been around for quite some time. But it's still young, similar to what we saw happen with crypto and blockchain. There's still a phase of deniability, and I guess burying your heads in the sand and not taking action as needed to manage this particular technology.
Yeah,
so definitely it's a tool. It's just how we're gonna use it, how we're gonna manage it.
Yeah, I gotta say that example you gave about banks, and that was terrifying, and what someone could do, and how could create a bank run. And this is terrorism, if used in the wrong hands. Eh? Okay, so back to elections in our final couple minutes here. What can political parties do? Can they should they consider only releasing information in a certain specific way? And if it's not on this site, don't trust it. What do you recommend to them?
Yeah, I would go back to a digital response unit, and that should be a national effort, and I guess an individual effort by the political party. Because you're gonna have challenges policing it. This can pop up from anywhere. I can hire a company in China, and they can post that into the Bahamian diaspora, right? So political parties need to do a lot of education to their prospective voters, the voters in general, and certainly the government as a national effort needs to ensure that it puts out the necessary warnings and a resource that can allow individuals to drop a particular message in, and that message can be validated before that individual shares that. So it's an education process. It is having the tools available so I can validate and verify that it's actually coming from my party. It's coming from the person in my party, and the person in my who's coming from the party. They have that authority. So there's a lot of things that are going to with that messaging, right? And so certainly that's what needs to be happening with political parties. And like I said, because don't forget, elections are managed not by a government. I mean, not by a party. They're managed by the quote unquote government of the Commonwealth of Bahamas. So, and I think that sits in the Ministry of National. So they should definitely be taking the lead, along with education, along with the AG's office, to do educational campaigns, but again, have something that I can use to validate it. Where can I go to confirm that this message is real?
Yep. And any message you want to send to the public, especially the people who love to forward, what would you say to them?
Yeah, so verify. I mean, as basic search, Google search, go to that particular entity's website, be it a political party, be it a financial institution. There's a lot of potential and risk also now in onboarding customers and KYC issues, confirming that it's actually Gamal recalling to have money transferred. So all these little things, these nuances that are in there, you need to verify, check, and verify. So that's what the individual has to do that. Confirm, research, and to validate that it's actually coming from the right source.
And honestly, Dwight, at this point, this needs to be a part of the primary school, high school curriculum, right? It's understanding how to fact check. What does that mean? What is a fact versus an opinion or a preference or a thought, right? Like this type of stuff has to be baked in to school curriculum, because it's something that you want your population to know how to decipher as a whole, right?
Yes.
That's an amazing point. I saw a news piece a few months back on Finland, and they have classes from primary schools, you say, straight through high school every year on how to determine whether something's authentic or fake. And so, yeah, you are completely correct about that. And one pet peeve I have, just don't screenshot something, send the link, see where this is actually coming from.
Yeah, and dig a little deeper on their own if they wish. Right?
If you're gonna forward information, don't just screenshot. Send the link to the
But those
site.
type of educational programs, Dwight, they're not only good for the nation building and growth, but it's also good for individual life as well. So you are less susceptible to falling for some of these things that could be very, very detrimental to your well-being.
Yeah. Kamal, we're going to need to be talking about this quite a bit more often, I'm sure, as we get closer to the election and beyond. But thank you. Thank you for getting the conversation started. People need to be thinking about this, definitely. Appreciate it. Have a wonderful weekend, sir. We look forward to talking with you again next month.
Great. Thank you for having me. I look forward to seeing you guys and continue to be safe and secure.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Joel Neary with Preventative Measures. We're going to take a break and be back with the final few minutes of Morning Blend Business here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Take you where you wanna be. You could be my luck. Even if the sky is falling down, I know that we'll be safe and sound.
You try to rest, but roll with the best. For all your printing needs, there ain't no one better, no. For posters and banners, magazines and flyers, for window decals, greeting cards and newsletters. No job too big and there's no job too small. You name it, we can print it. Just give us a call. Let Print Masters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
Throughout history, from bartering in ancient markets to the invention of paper currency, convenience has been at the heart of the way we pay. As time marched on, so have we, from barter to cash and cash to digital. Whether you pay with an online bank transfer, digital wallet, or contactless card, with digital payments, options abound. The world never stops evolving, and neither should you. Choose freedom, choose flexibility, choose convenience. The future of pay is digital. Visit us online at livedigitalbahamas.com and on social media.
Abaco, get ready for the summer's official rum and beer lingo. Royalty Sounds present Found Fast. Found Fast. Saturday, July 5th, Morris Harbor, Abaco. At the Royal Recreational Ground. Gates open 5 p.m., $20 entry. Ladies free before 8 p.m. With Nassau and Abaco's hottest DJ. Don't miss the beer drinkers versus rum drinkers competition.
Pulling for the best side, icicle liquor.
Can't run for me. Found Fast, July 5th, Abaco. Sponsored by Collect, the Beer of the Bahamas. Drink responsibly.
Southwest Plaza has so many stores, I've been trying to find a sensible way to list them all. There's CBS Bahamas, the Ashai Institute, BENC Snack World, Bamboo Shack Bahamas. They're the Athlete's Foot and BTC, Games and More, John Bull Fine Threads, Alive, Bahari, Dairy Queen, 700 Wines and Spirits, Sandy's, Clarkson, Island Luck, Starbucks and Lowe's Pharmacy, plus Marco's Pizza and Lorraine. Southwest Plaza, what a wide array of stores. Southwest Plaza, stop by today and explore.
With RBC, your idea of loving every journey happens now. Free up cash with affordable auto financing from RBC. With competitive rates and no bank fees, it's the perfect time to make every journey something special. Apply now to pre-qualify in 60 seconds at rbc.com/auto loan to shop with confidence. Conditions apply. RBC, your idea of loving your journey happens here.
You work hard for your money, so let your money work hard for you. With as little as $1,000 to start, you can watch your money grow by investing in CFAL's Bahamian dollar and US dollar mutual funds, each tailored to match your unique investment profile. Our expert advisors are dedicated to crafting personalized investment strategies to help you achieve your financial goals. Don't miss out on the chance to earn higher returns. Join the thousands of investors who trust CFAL and start your journey toward financial freedom today. Visit us at cfal.com to learn more about our saving and investment options. And let us help you build wealth so you can live well. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
It is time for your morning business report brought to you by CFAL, a virtual technical assistance mission carried out in March by the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, on external sector statistics conducted with the Central Bank of the Bahamas as part of the Caribbean Regional Technical Assistance Program. Found that the Ministry of Tourism's data found the data unreliable and in some cases out of sync with international guidelines. A report put together by the IMF found that the methodology given for extracting data from visitor surveys was, quote, very general, and suggested that the central bank play a central role in developing and monitoring visitor surveys. So this is saying that the, quote, compiler should play an active role in the development and monitoring of the survey of visitors conducted by other agencies. Particular attention should be paid to the wording of questions, the location of questions on forms, or the sequence of questions and interviews, the training of interviews, and data validation and sampling techniques. It says it's desirable that individual records or completed forms from surveys be given to the compiling authority for validation checks of data, examination of collection procedures, and review of possible sample problems. Read today's Guardian business section. And a new $750,000 holographic attraction is seeking to transform Bay Street's tourism east of Nassau Cruiseport. Principal of Nassau World Production, Kevin Burrows, telling Guardian Business that his company officially opened Nassau Holo World adjacent to the Bacardi store of Bay Street in June. Holo World, in partnership with US-based holographic theater company Verse Immersive, uses Microsoft HoloLens mixed reality headsets to provide an immersive augmented reality experience featuring various experiences and environments such as mythical creatures and outer space. The initial investment was of $750,000, with $500,000 spent so far. Phase 2 of the project includes a junk new holographic lounge and an escape room, which are expected to launch by September. Overseas, U.S. President Donald Trump saying in a letter that he will raise taxes on many imported goods from Canada to 35%, deepening a rift between two North American countries that have suffered a debilitating blow to their decades-old alliance. The Thursday letter to Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney is an aggressive increase to the top 25% rates that Trump imposed in March after months of threats. Trump's tariffs were allegedly in an effort to get Canada to crack down on fentanyl smuggling, despite the relatively modest trafficking of the drug from that country. Trump has also expressed frustration with the trade deficit with Canada that largely reflects oil prices and the oil purchases by America. The higher rates would go into effect August 1st, creating a tense series of weeks ahead for the global economy, as recent gains in the S&P 500 suggest many investors think Trump will ultimately back down on the increases. But stock market futures were down early Friday in a sign that Trump's wave of tariff letters may be starting to generate concern among investors. And international confectioner Ferrero, known for brands like Nutella and Kinder, is buying the century-old U.S. cereal company W.K. Kellogg in an effort to expand its North American sales. The Ferrero Group said Thursday it will pay $23 for each Kellogg share, or approximately $3.1 billion. The transaction includes W.K. Kellogg Company's 6 manufacturing plants and the marketing and distribution of its breakfast cereals across the U.S., Canada, and the Caribbean. W.K. Kellogg's shares were up 31% in mid-afternoon trading on Thursday. Kellogg was founded in Battle Creek, Michigan in 1906 after its founder accidentally figured out how to make flaked cereal while he was experimenting with granola, Kellogg Special K, Frosted Flakes, Rice Krispies, and other cereals. In your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BISX from Wednesday before the Independence Day holiday, your market movers: Commonwealth Bank moving 13,500 shares, closing at $4.51, down 19 cents. Consolidated Water down 3 cents, closing at $6.07. Emira Incorporated up 4 cents, closing at $11.15. The BISX All-Share Index closing at 3,006.88, down 0.18. That's your Market Watch. And that is your morning business report, brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. Farrell Goff, thank you so much for being here today.
Always a pleasure, Dwight. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
See you again in a couple weeks in a different capacity.
Yes, sir.
and we'll have you back with us in about a month as a co-host of.
Looking forward to it. Thank you.